Welcome, friends. Mokoko Cast 9. I'm DJ Montague. These are my friends, the most wonderful people in the world. Flipmeister, Laufie, Rufio. Welcome,
Hello.
everybody.
Hey,
Hi.
glad to be here.
Thank you. Hello. Happy to be here.
Thank you all. Let's start off with the biggest question I've ever heard anyone ask on a podcast in world history, by our best friend Grenton. Flipmeister, who the fuck do you think you are? I'm just kidding. I don't want to steal that.
He stole that from me!
Oh, did he really? Oh my god.
Oh, no.
Dude, Granton, okay. Dude, Granton messaged me on
Bunch of
Discord. He was like,
thieves.
you know Stoopz better. What should I ask him? Like, here's the questions I was gonna ask. And I was like, ask him, who the fuck do you think you are? And he's like, I'm actually gonna do that. I didn't think you would. Oh
That's
my god.
absolutely genius.
Well,
Priceless.
I'm a nobody, to be honest. I am very new to the scene, but just to let you know who I am, my name is Flip. I'm an engineer by trade, and I work for a robotics company here in Silicon Valley. But more relevant to this podcast, me and a bunch of really talented people, some of the most amazing people I've ever worked with, we've finally gotten together. We started a company called Sage Esports, and Archives is our little project. For the esports PvP community that we're trying to get into in the MMO space. And we've been really lucky because we got to work with Laufie to cast our first tournament and our most recent one. And I was really scared because when I first messaged Laufie, I was like, oh god, please don't make her think I'm just trying to slide into her DMs. I was literally like, Laufie, please. I'm nobody, but we have a beta tournament. Would you cast it for us? And it just so happened she had just finished drinking like a shit ton of beer, casting the Say Sorry tournament.
Perfect.
And she was like, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll open up my DMs. Add me on Discord. And like, yes, okay. Step one done.
Nice.
That's the best kind of start, you know? That you just catch
So-
Laufie in the right light, and she's like, yeah, sure, I'll help you out, right?
Yeah, under the right amount of beer is when you have to
Are you
catch
saying
me.
when I asked you for the video idea, you were like drunk as hell, and you were like, yeah, sure, I'll help you out. You can have these notes and do this stuff.
No, you're just an OG DJ. I just
Oh,
love you.
thanks. Rufio, what were you gonna say?
Dear Flip, you are the hardest man in the world to Google, by the way.
Nice.
Flip.
I was trying to like
Working
get a
as
little bit
intended.
more, right? I was trying to find a little bit more information about you. I think you have like 5 tweets on your Twitter. Very, very informative information. And then I wasn't gonna delve into your Instagram because that's a little bit too personal. But you did tell us a little bit about Sage Esports. Where did this brainchild for the archives come from? Like, why Lost Ark? Why the archives? Where did this come from? Because it feels like this is very from like left field. Like it doesn't have a presence in NA at all. It's really only known in Korean and Russia. I get we can say Japan, but like where did this come from? This seems like so incredible that like someone like you and the wonderful team that you put together over there at Sage Esports. Where did you come up with this idea for the archives?
Yeah, well, yeah, are we done with introductions? Are we just going to get right
Oh, we're
into
getting
it?
straight into this. No, we're getting straight into this. Listen.
Okay.
Balls deep.
Couple of things really. So, if you don't mind, I'm going to give a bit of a longer answer for this because I
Please.
think it's important.
Absolutely.
The first question is where are we coming from? And to be honest with you, I personally don't have that many accolades when it comes to PvP. The best I've ever done was like doing rated BGs in WoW and raging at my computer and pretending I was, pretending I was the shit. But the true thing is that I've always been understanding that the competition brings out the best and the worst in us. And as PvPers, one thing we can do to tilt that more towards the better version of ourselves is you need to introduce structure, you need to introduce meaning, and you need to celebrate community. But the thing is, the esports industry, it's quite saturated. You got the titans like Riot. And so if you're tournament organizers that are as small as us and have resources, we don't have the resources that Riot has. It's really difficult to make a foothold into the community. And so 2021, we had already been thinking about going into the tournament organization space. And it just so happened that the MMO community receives this massive shift of all of these players going away from World of Warcraft, mostly going to Final Fantasy, but Final Fantasy is not really known for its competitive PvP space, even though I personally think PvP is very fun in that game. And so a lot of the PvP community, they had two MMOs to look forward to. Well, two and a half. There was New World, there was Lost Ark, and there's games like Elion. And New World, it still needs a couple of years or development cycles, I think, till it becomes worthy of, let's say, a PvP tournament scene. But Lost Ark is very unique. Now, this is answering your second part of the question, why Lost Ark? Is because it's really unique in that it has a substantial English-speaking community before the game even releases in the Western shores. That's unique. But also with all of those events that happened in 2021, this migration of players, then now you have, it's almost like this purgatory period where everybody's just waiting for this game to release to see what it would be like. And so that was a unique opportunity for our team to just test the waters. So we wanted to do a 3v3 tournament and a 1v1 tournament before release, just to understand the logistics for that, as well as familiarize ourselves with all of the community pillars, the people who to look out for, and what can we do exactly. And also, because the game is good. Like, the game is really good. It's good. There's a lot that can be improved PvP-wise, but the game is good. That's my answer.
No, I like it. No, it's a very, very, very thorough answer, and I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely incredible. Like,
yeah,
happy to have
no,
you,
it's,
by the way.
Well, thank you.
So
happy to be
here. How did this brainchild, like, how did the whole Sage Esports like come about with you and your friends? Were you guys out at a bar having a drink? Yeah, like what made you want to jump into the esports space? That, like you said earlier, it's a very saturated market. Why would you, like, why now? Why would you want to enter the esports market when it already feels like it's kind of saturated with new companies popping up every day? Because when I looked up Sage Esports, there was, at first I thought you were an Apex Legend team. I thought you were a Call of Duty team, a Battlefield team, a Rocket League team, and I was like, man, there's a ton. Like, there's all these Sage Esports, but like, one, none of them are Flip. Two, none of them are Lost Ark. Three, they've only lasted like 3 months, and it seemed like it was 4 guys in a bedroom that, like, let's create an esports team, but not do anything with it. And you've already proven you're doing something with it. Where did this whole idea of you and your group of colleagues entering the esports space? Why take the risk now versus not taking it at all or anything like that?
Yeah, let's see. So this was 3 years in the making. Like I said, I am an engineer here in Silicon Valley, and the majority of the people in the team are based in California. And we're fortunate in a way that we do have day jobs that give us the security to pursue this kind of risk. So to us, it's not as risky as it may sound. But it's about 3 years in the making, because in around 2018, when I was watching the League of Legends World Championships, something just clicked. Something just clicked and made me go, this is the kind of entertainment that I enjoy. I watch a lot of tournaments. And so what was needed was we just needed to find the proper catalyst in order to get our foot in the door. And so there was a lot of research that was put into understanding which games do we invest in. And it took 3 years for the answer Lost Ark to come out there. And so to us, not too long ago, 2021 is when, I finally went to the team and I said, hey, this is what the research is showing. Lost Ark is something worth doing. This is the community so far. It's been very PPC. which is a huge part of why we're going into Lost Ark communities because of the attitudes, the community pillars. I know it's a bit memey, but PPC is exactly what we want from a grassroots community.
Mhm.
And so I'm so thankful because my team, we've got Sujalims, we've got Ezzy, Dreamlands, and Mechanical. We're all very tight knit. We understand each other very well. And we just laid out a vision. Okay, what would 2022 for Lost Ark be like tournament organization wise? Can we make that happen? And, I'm very lucky because the four of them said, let's give it a shot. And so here we are.
Very nice, very nice. Speaking of speaking of the tournaments that you guys put on so far, so you guys did the 3v3,
Yes.
which DJ was a part of, Meep was a part of, Laufie did an amazing job shoutcasting, and then there's a few other like notable names that were in that 3v3 tournament, and then the rivalry tournament. In terms of platform, like the way you'd like to set this up going forward, what are your plans for future tournaments, or how do you envision future tournaments with Sage and Archives going into the 2022-2023 season? Are you looking at continuing on with some more 3v3 teams? Are you going to look at more open bracket systems, 1v1s? Where do you envision the 2022 season, especially with the NA launch right around the corner? What can we expect to see from Sage slash Archives?
Yeah, I guess, first of all, I need to do a huge shout out to Laufie. Laufie was really key in helping us decide how we approach the community. So, Laufie, I'm not just saying that because you're here, but honestly, if you recall, Laufie, working up to the beta tournament, I brought her into Discord calls, showed her exactly what we were trying to do for 2022, and it's ambitious to say the least. And I was just really appreciative because Laufie was like, "Fuck it, yeah, let's do it." And I'm like, "Okay." Oh, go ahead.
That last match that Laufie shoutcasted was my second introduction to Laufie. My first introduction was entering a stream and not an ounce of English. I like hosted her and she was going off in Russian, and I was like, "Yo, what did I just host?" And like everyone's like, "Oh, that's Laufie. That's Laufie. Like, that's what she does." And I'm like, "What?" And she was flaming, and then it was great. She like went from flaming to like, "Oh, thank you, Rufio, for that host," and then back to flaming, and I'm like, am I getting? Is she screaming at me?
Yes,
like what?
absolutely.
Oh my! I'm a
100%.
PVE player. Like leave me alone. I'm trying to be nice here, but no. So like the last match where the secondary caster dropped out. Oh man, dude, she was calling moves that I was having to Google to like figure, like off the top of her head. I don't think that there's currently anyone in the space outside of a very select few that can pinpoint a move, what it does, the expectations of it critting, and what's the follow-up as the other player on the other side, right? The calculated breakdown that she gave of that last match, I was like, "Oh, I'm hooked. I'm a Laufie fan for the rest of my life
Not a
here. Like,
Laufie
it doesn't
fan,
matter."
A Laufie stan. Let's
I
get
am a
let's get
stan,
right.
dude. I am a stan. Like, I am a stan. But it was. I definitely want to thank you for taking that risk of jumping in those DMs, because it's not easy out here to just try to have like an actual conversation with people and them not assume. So I really do appreciate you on behalf of the PvE community. I can't really speak for the PvP community, but the PvE community, I definitely appreciate you taking the risk on Laufie. We've all been very, very happy with her performance. So
Thank you. Holy shit! This just turned into like a praise podcast.
oh, don't worry, no,
I
don't
mean,
worry.
I don't mind.
I got
but,
I got
like-
smoke for you later, Laufie. Don't worry. I'll smoke for you later. Yeah, don't worry.
Comfortable.
Okay, good. Let's balance it out a little bit.
But yeah, what so continue on
Yes.
with this
So-
with the tournament.
So in terms of what we already have planned, the Archives Arena, which is a 3v3 league, is going to be the main product that we're going to invest in. That's the one where we have set dates in the calendars that we're working towards. That's the one where we're working on making sure we have the prize pools so that we can get people paid. Because you always hear those horror stories of tournament organizers not paying
Oh,
casters,
yeah.
not paying
Yep.
the players. We do not want to be those guys.
No.
We do
It was-
not
it was-
want to be associated with that.
It was funny to hear the wrap up literally say, "Let's get these guys paid." I was like, "Damn, that quick? Like, that's all? That's it? We're already paying them? Like, we're not gonna question it?" We're
Yeah.
like,
I just
okay,
want to say real quick,
jeez.
as a person, I played in tournaments almost my entire life. There was like a span where I didn't for like 6 years, but I have never, like, other than fighting games where you show up to a tournament and get paid on the spot or else you start fighting outside, like, for real. Other than that,
Yeah.
any esports tournament I've gone to, it's like, yeah, we'll pay you in like 6 weeks or something like that. Like, congrats on your prize pool. We're going to get the money together. We'll see you around. The turnaround was 2 days. Like, friends, I am now a Sage stan. And a Laufie
Right.
stan, obviously, of course, because we're all Laufie stans at this point. But yes, like, you guys, that turnaround was super quick. Thank you so much for that. Like, really, really appreciate all the hard work you guys have done for this community. It's unreal. But continue on. Sorry.
Oh, thank you for saying that. That's something that actually really matters to us. And not just the players, because for Laufie, I wanted so that when we, for example, the beta tournament, I wanted to first showcase that she has the know-how and she has the talent to do it. And based on what you're saying, Rufio, it worked. So
Mhm.
what I would really like to do is that if there was ever a chance that Smilegate or Amazon Games creates their own professional scene, I want them to look at the talent that's already been out there getting their practice in. And I want to make sure there's documentation that they've been paid a certain rate so that they can, ask and tell them what they're worth. Because, it's 2022. We should be asking for better practices. And, with the whole thing with like Blizzard and Riot, all of those scandalous things happening,
CS:GO.
the industry just needs to shift into a better space if we want it to live longer. So that's part of the ethos of Sage. But to answer your question, I know we keep getting sidetracked, but
No, it's okay.
That's
you
this
guys are
podcast.
ready.
Don't worry. That's what we do.
Right?
So, in the calendar year, we have the Archives Arena, and what we're going to do is, because it's going to be monthly tournaments, is to pepper the calendar with other fun events that we can do. So Arc Rivalry, that's hopefully what we can do with on off weekends. So maybe Arc Rivalry 2 will be on a weekend where there's no weekend qualifiers. But all right, I'm gonna list off a couple of project ideas here. Let's play a little game.
What?
Don't even think about whether it's feasible or not, because we haven't even thought about this. But just let me know, yay, nay, if it sounds good, if we should bin it. So PvP, I'm looking at my cheat sheet here.
Okay. We'll have to go in order. So, Rufio, you'll answer first. Laufie, you second. I'll answer third.
All right.
Okay.
Well, no, you guys two answer because I probably know most of this stuff.
Well, you still can
It's
answer.
cheating.
Yeah, you can still ask your law.
Yeah, you can still give us. You
Okay.
can still give us your point of view. Your view matters. People want to know what your view is.
Okay. Rufio, how about an
Yeah.
NA East versus NA West exhibition match?
Oh my fucking god! Are you serious? Yeah, dude, I'm sold. Are you okay? Listen, this NA West, NA East thing is getting serious. We are at war with the West right now. I want to. Okay,
Wait, you're from
one of the-
San Diego. Wait, what? You're
I'm
playing
playing
going
East. He's
east.
playing
Listen,
East.
I'm going
Oh, you
east. I'm
played it.
going east.
Hold on.
I have a good reason for it, but listen,
Go
hear me
ahead,
out.
go
Hear me out, right? One of the biggest things I noticed in the PvP scene for BDO, I come from BDO. I
Yeah.
like 3-4 years in the game. Love the game. One of the biggest problems with BDO was that NA was 8 based and EU was evasion based. And there was no way for us to really find out who was the better of the two without sending an NA person over, obviously to EU, to re-gear, to have to go through this whole process to really determine it, right? This NA East, NA West thing can really settle the fact that NA West has dog water PvP
Oh my
players, and they're not
God.
built and
What?
ready for what the
I'm
East
right
Coast
here,
is coming
dog.
with.
I'm right here.
They're not ready for what the East Coast is about to be throwing down. All right, I'm here for this NA East, NA West. Yes, 100%. Oh my God, this is yes, 100%. Yes, I'm here for it.
Rufio, quantity doesn't always mean quality, and you're
Thank
gonna learn
you.
that the hard way.
Oh man! All right, we're gonna see. I'm 1v1 me, Laufie. I'm the #1 ranked Blade Bronze. All right,
From the
see
bottom.
me. But yeah, no, I that does sound. Yes, I'm very much excited about an NA West versus NA East. I think that's gonna really add to the spiciness of what the community has already created. So yes, very much so. That sounds very, very, very exciting.
It's a great picture, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Zesson is a
See,
genius.
I'm telling you, dude. It's the greatest. It's probably the greatest thing to happen to an MMO community in a long time. It's not. We're not arguing about pay to win or meta. It's what coast is better, and that's it. That's literally the biggest argument that we have right now. So, I absolutely love it. Yes, 100%.
All right. Who's next? Laufie.
Laufie.
So this is very similar vein of, but we want to also entertain the idea of like a World Cup Olympic style where people represent their nationalities, not just their regions, and so that's something that we would think of doing as well.
Well, I'm not sure which team I would be on then, because EU would have a lot of Russians, right? So I don't know which side I'm leaning more towards, but I mean, I like that. It's on a bigger scale, and I mean, NA West, NA East is something a little bit more pertaining to Lost Ark. NA as a whole against EU has been in every single game from the dawn of time, so I think it's the same amount of hype, but 10 times tenfold, because it's an eternal rivalry for sure, and I like that idea.
Okay.
I mean, legitimately, real quick, Hesitant brings up a point. It could be server based, where it's like, hey, best team in RU, best team in if you're representing EU, best team NA East, best team NA West, KR, and Japan, right? I mean, you'd also have to do I mean, you couldn't just it'd be so hard to just do the one team, right? From each, like the World Cup rules, because you have so many like teams that could possibly make a run. It could be very well like League of Legends World Championships, where you have 3 teams from KR, 3 teams from RU, or 3 teams from EU, 2 teams from NA West, 2 teams from NA East, 2 teams from Japan, and have it all come together. That, I mean, have more tournaments, never a bad thing in my opinion. So, but yeah, that's my opinion on that.
There's definitely some logistics behind it for sure, but another very solid tournament idea.
I mean, if you could get sponsorships involved, people would be able to boot camp wherever they want, right? So you'd be able to fly out teams to KR like League of Legends does, and there being the talks of the Southeast Asia server very soon. That's another region where more teams, more players, more sponsorships, more prize money, more love for PvP. So.
Yeah, I mean, as tournament organizers, that's our job to find the funding, to find the sponsors, obviously with the help of the community. And you mentioned that we can never have too many tournaments, but to be honest, we don't want to saturate the space with tournaments. We don't want every weekend where you have to feel obligated to tune in.
True.
So that's not what we're trying to do. But I've got a long list here. Let me just go with one more. For you, DJ, we're thinking about maybe like dodgeball schoolyard. You have 2 team captains, have them take turns picking players, and then they go at it at a big tournament style. It could be like a last team standing. You eliminate the players, and then the new players shuffle in. But 2 team captains, they have a huge pool of players to choose from. They each take their turns choosing, and then I guess they go at it.
I'd say that's like more of the difficult one, because like when you have these it's like almost playing solo queue. Like you anticipate that these players would play well with anyone, but that's just never the case. Like sometimes people just suck together. Like you get this
Yeah.
guy in your game and you're like, dude, I don't understand how the fuck your GM, excuse my language, I'm trying to cuss less on the show. But anyways, like I don't understand how your GM, and then the next game he's on the other team and he just claps your cheeks and you're like, what happened? It's like, well, team play, you know, composition wise, like there's a lot of variables to that. It could be fun in like a show match situation where I'm gonna equate this to League of Legends because they've already like paved the way for this kind of stuff. But like in League of Legends, how they have that East West, like every region has their voted players, and it's like kind of a crapshoot of like who's the most popular on, and then they have like all pro teams from each region, and they all play in like a post world championship setting, and it's like a show match. It's fun. But I feel like for a tournament like that, you'd have to have like it preface that it is just like a, hey, this is the off season. We're enjoying ourselves. This is what we're gonna do, like as a show match to keep people interested in PvP and stuff like that. But it could work.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and really, that's all to say that you know, the MMO community, we're not really used to tournaments like, for example, the fighting game community is. Every time a game is released, it's almost expected to be there's going to be a tournament scene for that. But for the MMO community, it's more up in the air. But what we're trying to say here is that, you know, Archives Arena, that's what we're going to do in terms of consistency's sake throughout the calendar. But this is for the community, so we're going to see what we can explore and innovate in the tournament scene format-wise, and just have the community participate. If it's a dud, it's a dud. We'll do it once and move on. But we are really willing to just see what sticks and, you know, reward the things that do well.
I want to say something real quick as well, is like the fact that you guys are willing to take these risks is so important and so like admirable, that you're going to put yourselves on the line for this. You guys believe in this, and that's something that a lot of scenes don't get. Like you have communities that just falter under their own weight. You have like Battle Right, where you have some tournaments and you have this promise from these from the developers that they're going to make a tournament scene, and then it just kind of just slowly dies out. Like I really appreciate you guys like standing there and saying that we're going to try this first and show you that, hey, we're committed to this. Like that's really important, and thank you for that. Like,
yeah, and actually to answer one of the questions here in the chat by Enyas Rave, that's what we're trying to do with our Archives Arena, the 3v3 league, is we're not going to charge any entry fee. This is going to be open. We're going to have weekly skirmishes where you and your friends can just go in and play in a more competitive scene, because there's no pre-made ranked in the game. And so we're hoping this Archives Arena scratches that itch. But if you're feeling a bit more, you know, aggro and really want to test your skills, then you start doing the monthly tournaments and hopefully get into those invitational that happen every 3 months. And that's when we'll, you know, up the production. We'll have more prizes, etc.
So, out of curiosity, for the actual tournament itself, I might have missed this, but is what's the qualifications for getting in? I know there's another content creator that was looking to bring a tournament online for East and West, and their qualifications were, once the PvE season gets started, it was based on your rank to enter, i.e., you had to be above like platinum or diamond to enter the tournament. In terms of what the Archives is bringing to the table, how does this necessarily work for you guys, with there not being like an entry fee or anything like that? Obviously, you're going to get a bunch. I mean, I'm not going to say you're going to get a bunch, but you're going to have those few groups of people that are obviously not PvP savvy per se, but they want to enter the tournament. But sorry, is it like an open call, so anyone can show up, or are you going to have like qualifications or requirements to actually get into these tournaments to play for these prize pools or compete for these prize pools?
Yeah, that's a good question. And what we're trying to do with this is just increase accessibility to
Mhm.
these events. So we're not going to ever say you need to be X rank to join in. It's just that the tournaments are set up that there are enough qualifier weekends that are only a select few of those winners go into the invitationals. That's where the sifting through the rank and I guess player skill will come through.
Oh,
And so to
okay.
us,
Yeah.
we're not going to say, "Hey, you need to hit gold in order to enter our tournaments." Just join our tournaments, and who knows, you'll be able to just try your hand at playing against really competitive teams.
Mhm.
And that's kind of like how it is in the fighting game community. You show up to these tournaments, and sometimes getting bodied by your opponent is the best thing that can happen to you because it
Yeah.
incentivizes you to improve. And that's what we want for the players in the PvP community. We don't want to be restrictive. We want to make sure, like, hey, come on in, but just so you know, if you want to be the best of the best, you're gonna have to put in the work. And there's gonna be a lot of people doing that. So we want to celebrate all types of skill levels.
I definitely like that. That's very, very admirable for you and Sage Esports. Out of curiosity, we talked earlier a little bit about it. You said that you did some logistics and looking at other games like New World and some other like Ilion and stuff like that. I don't think we really actually tapped into why you guys didn't choose Ilion, but out of curiosity, is Sage Esports interested after, let's say, going into the 2023 season, given that you guys are going to have a successful year with the archives tournaments, are you guys looking to expand into existing MMOs? Maybe not something that's future dated to come out, but current MMOs. Would you guys look at bringing something online for BDO, maybe vitalizing a scene for World of Warcraft, Guild Wars, ESO? Are you guys interested in expanding, or right now are you guys really locked in and really only wanting to focus on Lost Ark?
Yeah, it's a bit of both, to be honest. And our priority is Lost Ark. One,
Mhm.
we've fallen in love with the community, and we want to make sure we don't just like, hey, we'll put this up and then we ditch at the first sign that another MMO's like worth pursuing. We don't want to do that. Ultimately, the business that we're in is in community building, and so once we lock in and choose a community, we're going to do our darnest to make sure we go the distance with that community. And
Okay.
which is why, when we reach out to like people like Laufie and whatnot, we've told her like, hey, we're here for the long term. And for as long as this partnership takes, we're going to try and do you guys justice. Because I think personally, the Lost Ark community is the whole meme thing, PPC, whatever, but I really believe that there is a sense of positivity in the community that I haven't seen in others. Maybe it's because we're all jaded from other MMOs. Who knows? But I really want to see that grow. And you know, um, well, okay, Laufey, let me ask you, and don't worry, you're not gonna hurt my feelings. But having worked with us these past 2 years, two events, not 2 years, these past two events,
I
what
was
can we
like,
do
damn.
better? Like, what can we do better? Like, how was that experience? Because you got to work behind the scenes with us, and you're the one with all the know-how and connections to the community.
Time to throw some shade. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Ooh.
hey,
I'm just
I
kidding.
will
No,
appreciate
I'm just joking.
every shade. I will
I
put it
mean,
into my basket of appreciation.
you know me, like I'll say shit if I got something to say, you know? Like, but this is a hard question because I really can't think of too many things that don't just feel like nitpicky just to answer the question, you know what I mean? Just for the sake of answering. Um Obviously, like after we had our first CBT tournament, I had a lot of feedback for you, which doesn't mean it was like I didn't like. Don't worry, like I didn't like go in on Emma or anything. Like I don't abuse Flip, guys. Like, but
Laufey's just yelling
we
in
had
Russian like the whole time.
Screaming at him profusely. Oh man.
but we had a lot of feedback, and from that, and like the feedback kind of aligned with the community's feedback as well. Like, for example, like the kind of dead space between the games was too long. Like, people just want to watch the games. They don't want to listen to like this huge analysis after every like match or whatever. So those main things, they got fixed, and the way they got fixed is we had to like leave the games early, and that caused like a few gray screens here and there in the last one, but we worked around it, and it really feels like, Flip, you don't just kind of sit there on the throne and just kind of make all your peons do all the work. Like, you're really involved, and you're really at the front of everything. So it feels like anytime I come up with any criticism, or I come up with like an idea, you're like, oh, I actually have thought of that, or oh, actually we've been talking about this. So it's like every time I come up with something, it's like you're like always a step ahead. So I really like that. And honestly, the thing that I like the most, I think, out of the last tournament, aside from you very obviously following up on all the all the ideas from the community and from myself, is the fact that you had a form that's designed for like everybody who watched the tournament to give feedback, so that way we don't just need to like see chat and hope that that feedback gets into somebody's eyes, like one of us, you know what I mean? And like that we don't forget, and by the time we're exhausted after like a 6-7 hour tournament, that we have the memory to remember that, like, oh, that one random guy like in chat said that, oh, this might be a good idea. So I really like that. Honestly, like there aren't too many things that I would even mention, and it really just brings out, it really sheds light on how like at the front of everything you are with the community and everything, and you are really active in a Discord, and you always ask people for opinions and stuff like that. So honestly, I don't have too many things to even say. Like, I've been on board since the start, and I honestly don't have any criticisms for you at this point.
Nice. Thank you, Laufie. I'll send you your check
Checks in the mail.
I appreciate it.
Answered
No,
perfectly, Laufie. Nice job.
No, thank you, Laufie. I really appreciate that. And after the tournament, we did go through the Twitch chat. We did go through the survey. I mean, people are savage, but you can tell when it's coming from a good place. And I think we are super lucky because a lot of the criticisms for the tournament, one, can be fixed. Thankfully, it's not like somebody was flaming somebody. And two, you could tell it was because they wanted us to succeed. You could tell it's because they wanted the product to improve. And so to us, we are absolutely over the moon about all of the feedback we've gotten so far. And the only promise I can really give to you guys is that we're going to do better, and then we're going to keep improving and help us course correct if we ever, go down the wrong path.
I like it.
Don't worry, the community will help so much.
Absolutely.
Asked for or not, you're gonna get that feedback.
They're gonna give it to you regardless. Damn, Laufie did a really good job of answering my last question. Well, not my last question, but the question I was gonna ask next. Thank you, Laufie. Reading my mind. You mentioned earlier in the podcast that you want to basically set the framework so that when Smilegate inevitably, or Amazon inevitably, opens the door for competitive PvP for NA, EU, you want to have the framework there to say, like, these are the top tier casters, these are some of the most notable players, these, like, you should be paying attention to these people, right? In doing that, would you say you're expressing a desire to work alongside Amazon and Smilegate, or would you truly like to break away and create your own lane in the PvP scene amongst NA, EU, RU, Japan, possible SIA servers coming?
That's a great question. And first, I'll answer it by saying our goal is always to try and be synergistic with what they're doing, because with the archives arena and whatnot, what we're hoping is to, one, showcase to Amazon and Smilegate that, hey, we're willing to meet you halfway. We'll work on the competitive amateur scene, and we'll help develop that. We'll show you that we're willing to make this a community worth investing in. And then for them, if they want to do something like in the leagues of, the LCS, the LEC, that professional type, we can make it so that the archives arena seeds into that. if you're a top contender in the archives arena, you can become, let's say, part of a wild card of whatever Royal Roaders equivalent they'll do in the Western. And I'm hoping they do that.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
That's awesome. Like
Yeah.
that
to
would
be
be
able
awesome.
to be able to look at the situation and say, hey, already we're willing to continue our grassroots nature in bringing you the players that could possibly play in this bigger event hosted by Smilegate or Amazon or whoever decides to take that mantle. You're willing to say, hey, we want to work with you, alongside you, to create this environment that's not just like, honestly, look at League of Legends. League of Legends does not have a great grassroots scene. Like, it seems like Academy gets kind of shunned in China. Their D League is like way more celebrated, and they have like massive fan bases for that. Also, they have a lot more people, but in general, like in America and Europe, it seemed as kind of a joke. So being able to bring these players up and give them an avenue to show their skill is like so massive. And I appreciate you saying we're gonna stick with it no matter what happens. We want to make sure people still have an avenue to play.
Yeah, and just to continue on that, if you put yourselves in the shoes of, let's say I'm a college kid and, on my free time I play Lost Ark and I do PvP. You want to give them something to aspire to.
Mhm.
It's already difficult enough to try and get discovered if you want to go into the esports scene as a professional player. But if you can provide a grassroots, and the advantage of the grassroots tournament scene is that you can provide the structure or this platform where a quote unquote nobody becomes a somebody with the whole community behind them. And then if you are I guess esports organization like, I don't know, Liquid, G2, etc., and you're looking for players to bring into the Lost Ark scene, you look at the grassroots scene and see who are the beloved ones and who are worth investing in. And to us, that would just be so amazing, and that could be life changing to some of these players. And so to us, it's something that we're very, very happy to be a part of.
I think Rufio is falling in love with you, like very.
Oh
Dude, he's
no,
looking
this
into your eyes.
man,
He's like,
this man DJ
I
is a
do
fucking
DJ.
clown over here, bro. Oh no, Flip. God, bro. God, you're.
I've seen the look when people fall in love with me, and it's not that, Rufio.
No, it's not. No. I have a little boy crush on you. Don't worry. No, okay. So I'm gonna get kind of personal here. Then,
Yep.
You mentioned you worked in like Silicon Valley, right? The whole premise, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm gonna stand on this one. The whole premise when you work in the technology field is you build it up, you make it work, and you sell it, right? You want to make money at the end of the day because you want to take that money and you want to work on a bigger, better project. This does not seem to be the case with Archives and Sage Esports. It seems like you want to hold on to this and you're looking at a long term. I'm not gonna say you have a 5-year plan, but it definitely seems like you have zero interest in building this product up just to relinquish it and watch it go all to hell. Would you say that that's true, or would you say you're just trying to get in and get out while the iron's hot?
Yeah, well, I kind of alluded to it earlier, but I'm already kind of fortunate in the place I work at. I'm not to toot my own horn, but I'm really good at my job where I can juggle like Sage Esports on the side. And this to me, alongside the rest of the Sage team, is more of a passion project. And what I'm good at is I'm good at creating the vision and working and collaborating with people to get to that vision. Now, there might come to a time where in Sage Esports, where just like all the companies, once you've achieved that vision, you need somebody who is good at optimizing these things and making it work. And so there could be a change of leadership then. And then if that ever becomes stale, then you need a new visionary to restart. And so that's kind of like how the cycles of these companies go. Okay. But in terms of my personal involvement in Sage Esports, it doesn't necessarily matter if I'm CEO or not, as long as that vision gets its justice done. And But what I mean by that is the PvP community of Lost Ark, they get to take part in building something they love, this whole tournament scene. And whether or not it dies 3 years or 5 years from now, or it keeps going, at least you can go back and say, I think we did that right. And so to me, that's what's most important.
I have a question for you as well. Are you looking at this like the what you explained? Tempo Storm did that in Hearthstone, right? And in Heroes of the Storm, they had that kind of vision. They were in it for very like a long haul type of situation. But are you looking at the Tempo Storm side of things where you're looking at potentially, you know, a year down the line, you see how this has grown? Are you looking at jumpstarting the scene of being like, we're going to sponsor a team and we're going to give them the avenues to show that this is worth it, like that this PvP scene can last a lot longer than what has happened previously so far in the scene?
So I don't have a good answer for that, DJ. And to be honest with you, the reason why I don't have a good answer for that is because as much as, you know, Sage Esports and the PvP community of Lost Ark is going to work really hard to showcase to Smilegate and Amazon that we are a community worth investing in, the fact of the matter is Lost Ark is a PvE game, and we don't know how they're going to respond to this amateur grassroots scene. And all we can do, and this is what's under our control, is to make sure we do our best job to showcase to them that, hey, we are a positive force that you can interact with. Because what I would really, really love to do before even thinking about 5 years from now is ask ourselves the question, can we have a really good relationship with our community managers? Can we be the PvP community that makes it easy for the community managers to get our feedback? Can we be the spearhead that actually goes to them? And, you know, it's tough being a community manager. And so we need to ask ourselves, what are we doing to make sure that they understand what our needs are, but also what are we doing to celebrate them? Because they're doing a really tough job. And which is part of the reason why in the beta tournament, you know, we had to shout out Rox because she's been amazing in terms of the way she's been championing for us. And I really, really want that relationship to continue. And for Smilegate as well to see that, hey, okay, these Westerners, they're putting in the effort. They want to be seen, and we see you. So that's our number one goal first. Let's build a solid community before even thinking about 5 years from now.
I just wanted to wet that whistle, see if there was any interest there.
Yeah. I mean, yes, we'll have to see. That's the answer. Just we'll have to see.
Okay, I want to step away from competitive, and I want to get down to just your overall thoughts on Lost Ark as a whole. So I got some hard-hitting questions for you. First being, do you think the #1 bronze ranked Blade, who beat Hyper, by the way, has a chance to beat Laufie on Bard? Do you think that this is possible? Can I do this? All right,
no chance.
You know what? I'm gonna prove you wrong. All right, I'll see you at Rivals.
We're talking about Laufie here, dude. Okay, I've watched Laufie streams where she gets really drunk with blanks and still body people
in roles. Exactly. This is why I'm scared. Like, we're gonna do it off. Like, we're gonna do a rivalries off stream because I'm not gonna get embarrassed and have to like live with the fact that every time I enter her stream, they go, "Remember that #1 ranked bronze Blade dog?" Yeah. He fucking plays Maple Story now competitively. He's out of here. He's out of here. No, okay. So, in all honesty, though, what is your least favorite character or least favorite class in PvP, and currently, and why?
Bard. I'm sorry, Laufie, but I
Betrayal!
No, okay, Laufie. I messaged you during the beta. I boosted the Bard with my free pass, whatever. And I played like 10 games of Bard, and I was like, oh god, I'm never touching this class again. Even though as a berserker, I love having a Bard in team.
To play it?
Anything to do with, you know, throwing music notes at somebody kind of class is that,
It's
man?
the sounds too, man.
I love it.
The
I
sounds
love
are
it.
miserable.
I wish
It's
they were
true,
like
I
on
actually agree with
like
that.
I wish they were not like out of tune. Like when I first started playing the class, I tried it out and I was like, am I flicking like out of tune chords at people?
You are.
Like, yeah, I would want to
Yes.
die too if
You
that was
are.
the
I
case.
wish bards
Like,
weren't bards. I wish they were like priests or something, like anything else. I really like the like people always come into my stream and like I'm kind of stealing your answer, sorry, but they always ask me like, oh, like do you like bard aesthetics? Do you like the bard? I don't like anything about bard aside from the kit. Like just you put bard in RuneScape, I'll still play bard. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter to me. But it looks so shitty and it sounds so shitty. Like I just hate it so much.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna challenge you on that, Laufie, because you have like a billion commissioned art of
Okay,
your
no,
bard.
like the actual model, like the girl, like the elf, I really like. But the aesthetic of the
Okay.
class itself, like the sorceress, like I'm a simp for Sork. Like I love the class. The aesthetic is beautiful. All the visual effects are amazing. Bard is just it's so ugly, and all the Bard specific costumes are so gaudy, and there's just so much stuff going on. So I'm kind of with you on that.
Real quick, I wanted to give a shout out. We've got Air Force Gaming in here right now for checking out the podcast. We appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much, by the way. Also, yeah, everybody's a simp for the bard aesthetic, not the actual act of the class. Agreed, 100%.
that's a good answer. My least favorite class is definitely Destroyer right now, but
That's because you're a blade
Bards.
main and you're bronze, so you have trouble with
yeah,
destroyers,
all right.
even though they're.
I have trouble with everything right now. Okay, you guys didn't tell me that
you
ranked was fun but hard.
You don't
Okay,
have
next
trouble
time,
against
like, let
Hyper.
me know.
You have no trouble.
Yeah,
against
that's
Hyper
true.
at all,
I mean,
so.
that's true.
You're good. Yeah.
Took him to the gun show, baby. Let's go. All right. Okay. On top of your least favorite class being Bard, I'm not gonna ask you about your favorite class because I saw your Berserker, by the way.
Hey.
Very Chad. Love it. Love your aesthetic on the Berserker. Good choice, by the way. My third choice. What are your top 3 characters you're looking forward to picking on launch for NA?
Yeah, so to me, okay, like I said, I'm not a good PvPer. So I'm actually trying to do PvE in this game with my buddies.
Okay.
And so Berserker is going to be my main. And I'm going to just do PvP on that. I'm going to PvE on that. But for the rest, I really like swords in general. So Blade to me is just a really, really good class. And then Paladin, although I'm
Goddamn
not much
right.
of a support, I like the sword aesthetic. I just like looking good. Like fashion is the real end game for me. So to me, I want classes that look really good in whatever cash shop microtransactions I end up doing. And
There we
trust
go.
me, there's going to be a lot. And swords look really good because they usually nail the sword look in whatever skins they add. The rest of the classes, meh, whatever. Like look at that DJ skin. That's pretty dope.
Right? No, it's just amazing. No, it's absolutely. I feel like they put too much effort into the warrior class. Right? They need to dial it back. We get it. You guys are cool. You're aesthetically pleasing to look at, but there's some lesser classes out there that definitely need some outfit designs. I'm looking at you, sorceress. Lord, I want some better outfits. The little witch hat would be great. Like a nice, cool, big, flowy
There's
outfit instead of
tons.
this like skirt thing.
KR has so much good stuff coming. So I
Yeah,
think
the
we're all
RU
good.
cash shop is a wasteland of don't spend your money here.
Truth.
Okay, I like that. I definitely like that. So it sounds like you're gonna be mostly wrapped into the PV. I happen to be a big PvEer. I just recently got into PvP, and it was the worst, best decision of my entire life. I now understand 1/100th of what ranked players feel on a regular basis when they're trying to climb rank, and you get into a lobby and you're like, who are my fucking teammates? Like, what is this? Like, are you throwing or am I throwing? Are we just all just really bad at the game? What is your, in terms of existing PvE content now, what is your favorite Legion raid?
Okay, so my only request is please don't spoil PvE for me because I have worked really hard to not spoil PvE because I want to experience it blind with my friends.
So you haven't done
Yeah.
anything. You haven't done any Legion raids. You haven't seen anything.
I did one Chaos dungeon in
Okay.
beta, and I'm like, okay, I need to stop right now because I need to play this with my friends.
That's so adorable.
That's mad respect. Mad respect.
Okay, so I don't.
And
We won't spoil anything.
It's been
Okay.
really difficult.
Okay, let's get away from PvE because it sounds like you really want to absolutely enjoy it. But I will tell you, you are in for a treat.
I can't wait.
The game is absolutely phenomenal. Laufie, are we gonna see a Laufie raid outside of you dominating the leaderboards?
No, of
Are we
course.
gonna see an actual can I expect to see in a title in the future, blind run through Kook Satan or anything like that?
Fuck, I don't know about blind, man. I ran. What did I do? I ran Volton blind with Stoopz, and that took like 7 hours. So I don't know if I want to do that again, but whatever he's doing, I'll come if he doesn't replace me with Bard. But that's a whole other topic.
I always love it
Never letting
because
it go.
I always think when PvP players are like doing raids and stuff like that, and you always tune into the stream, I always feel like a part of them every time they wipe, they sit back and they go, "Fuck, I could be climbing the leaderboards right now instead of wasting my time in potions with you fucking losers right now." Like, this content's so fun, I love it, but I could really 7 hours. Do you know where I could be right now in 7 hours? Like, oh man. That's cool. Yeah, that's definitely. And I'm assuming DJ, it's same for you. You're planning on you've expressed that you wanted to go hard body on PvP, right? For the first 2 seasons, and then quit PvP altogether.
No.
Or is this changing again?
Yeah, we're changing the game up. So basically,
are you going back to West?
No.
You don't want to drop that information.
No. But I will PvP on West.
Okay.
There's already been talks of me being sponsored by Smilegate to play PvP professionally. Because I'm so much better than everybody, so I can't let it just drop like that. I'm just obviously joking. I'm not that great. Anyway,
did you beat Hyper too?
I crush Hyper. Hyper hasn't beaten me in anything other than when he's on my team making me lose. But
why is Hyper just randomly catching bodies all stream? Like, what the hell? You guys chill.
He's talking trash in chat. Don't worry. So, I will be. Obviously, I want to still PvP, and with the announcement of what Lost Ark League has in store for us, I want to be a part of that. So I want to make sure that if I have a team on East, I'm playing on the East Lost Ark League. If I have a team on West, I'm playing on that as well. My aim right now is like PvE, like Turman does. Like Turman PvEs a lot, but he's still GM in Russia, right? That's what I would like to aspire to be. I want GM on both regions at the same time at some point. So we'll see how that goes. And then I wanted to ask you, Flip, you're playing West, right?
Yeah, that's right. And that's just because of ping.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody hears of West. This whole podcast is West right now. In terms of location.
Wait, Laufie, you're playing in East, right?
For PvE, yeah. But for PvP, I'll probably start on West and then build it on East.
I feel like a lot of people that's like kind of the plan is just like PvP on the low ping and then go PvE where like you get mid-tier ping.
Because like when the game comes out, we're not even gonna have ranked at first. If it's anything like every single other region, so we're gonna have like a month or 2 months to level up all the characters that we want. I could level 1 on EU. I could level 1. Like I'm gonna be on EU too. Like I'm not gonna let the Russians go without inting in their games on high ping. Like they're not gonna get rid of. You know what I mean?
That's smart.
Yeah. So it's it's fully equalized level 26 is all you need. Like there's no point to like you can definitely split regions and have your main and all your gold and like your what's it called roster level on on one server and then
don't just say unconfirmed information on the podcast. We get canceled by Smilegate out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, allegedly
roster.
Yeah, no, I think you're. Go ahead.
I was actually since I have you guys here, I do have a lot of questions in terms of things I would like to ask you guys. So if you don't mind, maybe I can start with one. So you guys are content creators, and I would really like to understand. Maybe this is getting a bit too real, but please I just want something, a peek behind the curtain, so to speak. But being a content creator for this game, whether it's PvP or PvE, what are you guys expecting, or what do you guys want out of this upcoming launch? Because I feel like it's going to be like a wild west for these content creators, and it's whoever gets their tier list out and whoever gets X amount of videos out. And so to me, I would just want to know, like, what's the thought behind this? What are you guys' plans? How are you guys approaching it? How can we ultimately, as a community, make sure we're supporting each other? That's why I'm asking. So, who would like to go first?
I'm gonna let DJ, who's like running a YouTube channel
Oh
and
boy.
and streaming and a podcast. I'm gonna let him answer that one first. I'm just a PvE streamer who's been ranked 1 bronze. So
basically, as of right now, it's super tough being a content creator because, like you said, it is like the wild west for a game like this. Like, I've been streaming Lost Ark on and off for like a year and a half, and in the beginning, I just played it mostly offline when I was playing, and now that I've been back for a year, it feels strange. Like, it feels great that my channel, this channel here, has grown so much. Like, I can't thank you guys enough for all that you've given me. Like, I thoroughly appreciate it. Please also, everybody in the chat, follow Laufie, follow Rufio, follow Flip, follow the archives. Like, you guys are incredible. I really thank you. That's a little shill for you guys real quick, but anyways.
But follow DJ the most.
No. Follow everybody else, then come back here or something like that. But having the chance to like even be in the running for like something like this, of being at the forefront of content creation for Lost Ark, is really wonderful, but also incredibly stressful right now, right? Because it is just like, what, like, you can copy everybody else's content and you can go that route and hope that the clicks come your way, or risk wasting your time when you're live or not live. And it's just it's tough. I think being a content creator in Lost Ark right now is really tough, just because there's so many people coming at it so fast. Like, to be honest, just so you guys know, I have 15 videos coming out over the next 17 days. By the way, 17 days until Lost Ark is released. So this is like, it's hard.
You okay, DJ?
What do you
yeah,
mean?
sounds stressed, my boy.
Am I'm just I
stressed.
literally recorded all these videos today. I have the folders right here. You guys can see on screen. I've got them all, and I did all the recordings, and I just need. It's hard. It's hard being a content creator, guys. Leave me alone.
Laufie, you only stream, right? And then you obviously do your casting for the archives, but you don't have like a YouTube presence, correct? Or am I mistaken?
Well, I have a channel and I started it recently. I have one little dinky video on it that's very poorly made because it was my first time.
Bring it up on stream.
But it's like a little tiny montage. It's not even a montage, it's like a collection of clips from beta, because I just specifically wanted to do like a beta one, and I only played for 2 days with the tournament and like the management of like all the bugs and stuff. Like, I only had like 2 days worth of content to actually put in there. But I got a little crash course from Stoopz on an actual editing software that isn't shit. So isn't bad. And so I'm making like an artist video soon.
Gotcha. So you're looking to get into the space.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit.
Nice.
Not as much as I'm not gonna put out that many videos in that little time.
No.
Yeah, a little bit.
I only stream, so I'm like the least content creator here. No, in terms of what I'd like to see happen, I've been man, all right, I'm gonna stand on my soapbox and I'm gonna hurt some feelings. I understand what Amazon's doing right now in terms of marketing. Like, I get what they're doing with, obviously, it's tough to use someone who averages 200 to 300 viewers on YouTube or on Twitch, and has maybe 5 to 10K on their video on YouTube to advertise your game because they don't have a large reach, right? It really sucks to see
Yes.
the current existing content creators, and I kind of went on a pretty gnarly rant on my stream about it. Having someone who I've never seen in the category or produce a Lost Ark video or PvP read a script and talk about the fundamentals of PvP was very confusing to me. And then this is no shot at that content creator. I get it's a business at the end of the day. You want to find someone that's got a large audience to bring more eyes onto the game. Absolutely, 100%. But I would really, really like to see post-launch the content creators that have been suffering with 200 ping, going through Vaulton, trying to climb rank. I would like to see those content creators get their due, like they're just like to get like the perks and to get recognition from Amazon over the next several months or years or so, because it's really disheartening to see all of these trailers come out and it's like, I don't know who the any of you people are. Like, do you play Lost Ark at all? Like, what? Like, what? Like, it really sucked to see that type of stuff come out. But I understand from a business standpoint. But I will definitely like to say I would like to see a platform being given to more existing content creators in the category. So
I agree with you, man. And just to build off of that point, like that, seeing that one video come out again, Eric's, I don't know how to pronounce his name. But I'm sure it's just business, Amazon they asked him and he did it, and I would have done it too. You know what I mean? Like, it's all of us probably would have done it for some game if they reached out to us and paid us a bunch of money to like read a script for a video. And I completely agree with you, and it was super demoralizing to me. And it was funny because I saw that video, the PvP one specifically, posted on the forums, and the first comment was, "Damn, I was hoping to see Laufie or Lynn in one of these videos like this." And it did demoralize me, and I do wish that Amazon would kind of turn their attention a little bit more towards people who have been promoting their game before they even picked it up, like people who have been kind of, like you said, struggling with 200 ping and all that stuff. But the silver, like the kind of, the more I think about it, the silver lining of this is to just play devil's advocate and not even really play devil's advocate. I'm not like trying to argue, but to kind of give you like a ray of hope. Right now, the game is in heavy like promotion kind of mode, so they're trying to bring in and spread the news about the game to as many people as possible. And we are already in the community, so people who are going to recognize you and me and DJ and even Stoopz and like larger kind of creators that are specifically in Lost Ark, they already know about Lost Ark, and they're trying to bring in brand new people from other games. So they're taking these large creators, from Eric's case, for example, from, I think he's from Monster Hunter or something, and they're just promoting the game to them because it's like, hey, look, we have kind of a Monster Hunter like thing here. Like, they did a PvP thing with him, but it's like, if they look at the game, they're going to see the Guardians and they're going to be like, oh, that's kind of similar to the game that we play. So I'm hoping that I'm just trying to give Amazon as much benefit of the doubt as I can, and I'm hoping that once the game launches and once launch is successful, that's when they will turn their attention to people who have been around and have been there for a long time. Because then, like, the game's already promoted, the game's out. Now it's like, okay, who's actually making high quality content? Who's actually showcasing high quality stuff for our game that's already out, that already exists? Those are the people that we want to turn our attention to. I'm hoping that's what they're planning to do. I don't know, but that's the benefit of the doubt that I'm giving them.
I want to see the content creator program be an actual content creator program, and I don't feel like I just wasted signing up to something just for them to go, yeah, that's cool, but have you heard of Shroud? Like, like what? Okay, I'm not saying promote me on your Twitter, but like, hey, like, would you like to produce content with us or join in on a raid or something? Would be great. I will definitely say this though, the stepping stones that they have made with people like Sane Tone and stuff like that was a godsend, needless to say, and I'm really, 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 really excited because I feel like Stoopz and like Sane Tone are on the forefront of really bringing a larger amount of eyes on it that are actively playing the game. So I definitely want to see see more of that, like that level of promotion. I'd love to see a Stoopz on an Amazon stream, just the
Yeah.
Stellars going ham in chant.
Mhm.
They already do it now, and it's like even worse. like imagine if their king is on the platform, like dude, like it's
So-
going
Hilarious.
down.
Real quick, I did want to say in defense of these other people coming into the community, like an Eric's, like a Force Gaming, like a Legacy. I've been like keeping track of these other like kind of players that are still looking from the outside into the game, and like you got people like MMO Byte. Obviously, MMO Byte's just gonna play whatever, but he's still promoting the game and like talking about a variety of games. It's not just like he's solely focused on this. And then you have Force Gaming has been talking about Lost Ark for 3.5 years or 4 years, you know. So these people they dip their toes into a lot of different pools, right? And they're just like, oh hey, this is how I perceive myself as a content creator. I'm a variety content creator. I'm bringing you all the news because, you know, Jimmy, who works a 9 to 5 and then has 2 kids, doesn't have the availability other than on his lunch break to hear Force Gaming talking about something. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, I understand from a business standpoint why you're reaching out to these people, but once the dust settles and all the big names go back to creating content for the next big game or going back to whatever it is that they're currently actively playing, I would like Amazon to turn their attention towards their actual existing community now that's here for the long play and really give them a platform.
I think if they don't, they make a massive mistake, and they basically tell their community, like, we'll let our game die. We don't care.
Listen, if I don't see fucking Laufie or Stoopz,
If I don't see them
or
on the
Sane
goddamn
Tone,
Steam client, like,
I'm going to be pissed.
I'm losing
Listen,
it.
if we don't-
rioting.
If we don't see Stoopz, we ain't seen no one else.
Right.
Like, let's be honest.
Next question, Flip. Throw it at us.
No,
Give us your question.
I really appreciated that discussion. One, because I wanted, like I said, a peek behind the curtain for these content creators and what your mindset is. Because the fact of the matter is, in 17 days, we're about to see a huge influx of players, and perhaps even more on the 11th of February. And what that
100%.
usually does to a community is you're going to lose some of the culture. It's going to change. It's going to go through a massive shift. You know, all of us, we're all kind of like playing in KR or RU right now, but we're about to get fractured into our respective regions, NA, EU, etc., and South America. And so with this huge influx of players, we got to ask ourselves, and maybe more so the content creators, like, what are we doing to make sure we are being welcoming? What can we do to make sure that that whole PPC thing about the Lost Ark community is upheld? Because you're gonna get a lot of people who have no idea who we are, and they're going to go into the scene courtesy of other content creators. But the question is, how can we make that experience enjoyable for them so that we don't just become another toxic community? So
think
to
it
me,
really-
that's what I would
it's-
be interested in.
As a YouTuber, it's easy to put out content because you have zero interaction with your audience, right? You just put a video out, they watch the video, and then they go play the game. As a streamer, you have a lot more responsibility. And that was something I learned early on when I first started streaming Lost Ark. Was there's a difference between being like a casual streamer, you're just streaming for fun because you like the game, you like streaming, and you want to interact with new people on the internet, and then being a content creator. You kind of take on this role of answering questions and being on the forefront of bringing in these new eyes and encouraging people to try the game out, try new classes. I can't tell you every day. Laufie's probably gone through this. DJ's gone through this a number of times. I know we've memed it to death. Answering the same question a million times in one stream is the most daunting thing you can possibly do. But realizing that, hey, this is a new person that just wants information. We've all been on the outs where we've watched a streamer, big or small, we've typed in their chat and said, how do you like the game? And then they give you some rude response, and it's like, you don't instantly think like, oh, this streamer's a dickhead. You're like, man, maybe this game sucks. Like,
Right.
if you have that type of energy, and for me, it's completely different. I'm like, why are you not playing in Russia right now? Like, why are you not playing in KR? Why are you not experiencing this game? Don't ask me what my favorite class is. Like, try every class because every class is amazing. So it's like you have to just be very open and very welcoming to these people and have the correct information. I cannot stress that enough. If you answer a question, answer it with the correct information. I got called out one time and I learned real fucking quick. Pardon my French. Do not bullshit someone because they're going to call you out or they're going to go to another streamer and then that streamer is going to hit you with, hey, listen, next time you better know where you get these shards from, okay? I don't want them in my chat saying that Rufio said you can go to some island that doesn't exist in the game because you think it's funny. Like, give them the correct information. I don't want to be doing your legwork, right? So it's it just comes down to giving the correct information, being honest, and like inspiring people to want to play the game. The game is absolutely amazing, and I can't stress that enough to people when they come into my chat. To like, either you wait until the game comes out or jump in right now. You can get a free 3-day trial on Exit Lag. You can try the game out and play with your favorite content creators, make new friends, and be a part of a very amazing community. We haven't gotten to that toxic level where everyone's crying and foul and anything like that, which is really great. Exactly. No, it's really nice too because like there's times where I'll be in the middle of raiding and I'll have friends that are in my stream that are answering questions for me. I don't get that in a lot of other games where I'll be asking a question and people are like, you don't know the answer? You shouldn't be playing this game. I'm looking at you, Crusader King 3. I just got my heart broken in that game recently, so I'm really mad. But yeah, no, like there's tons of people. I'll go into like I've been in Laufie stream and I've asked a PvP question on like legitimately, hey, I'm struggling in threes going against a bard. What's a good, like, how can I approach this on a blade? Obviously, you know, Laufie's very anti-blade. Her chat's very anti-blade. But I do get, like, actual, like, hey, this is how you should approach it. I see the death stare. All right, listen, I'm trying to work on another class, but I just can't get away from the blade, Laufie. I'm sorry. But they're, like, the community is very open. They're very welcoming. And I've gotten the same thing in DJ's chat where I've gone in and said, hey, you know, I'm struggling on my Holy Knight. How can I be a better Holy Knight player? These are the skills that I'm currently looking at. This is my build. What can I do to be better? If DJ doesn't stop to answer the question, his community is picking up that legwork, and that's very, very amazing. And I want everyone to continue doing that.
Yeah, that's huge because that defines our community as something more than just a bunch of people PvPing, right?
Yes.
You know, we're all here to embrace these new players. Because we're at the tip of the iceberg. We're just sitting up on top and everything's about to shift. Like, you know, we're about to see the bottom of the iceberg. These millions of people that are actually potentially going to try this game and the hundreds of thousands that might stick with it. And you might see somebody randomly in your chat and it, you know, it's up to us to be as PPC and continue to be as PPC as humanly possible. Sure, I've seen the same question a million times in chat, but I have to think of it like somebody walking into the door. You know, like somebody just opened the door and was like, hey, does anybody in here know like anything about PvP? And then everyone's like sitting in a room and they're all talking about something and they direct their attention. Now this person's on the spot and everyone's like, yeah, man, come on in. Let's chat about this shit, you know? So yeah. I think it's really cool so far with this community, how welcoming it's been. Like, it's unreal. Like, guys, I was one of the last to start really truly streaming this game, and people like Laufie and people like Stoopz, like I think Stoopz came like a couple weeks afterward, and this community embraced Stoopz like they had birthed them himself. Like, holy shit, this man was like coming in brand new, and Stoopz is like,
very true.
Guys, I got no idea what's going on. Somebody want to help me out? And then
I feel like the first day, I feel like his chat, when I tuned in, because I was like, who the fuck is this guy, right? This chiseled jawed Chad.
Hold
on.
That was like, you didn't know who Stoopz was before he walked in the door?
No,
come on, man.
World of Warcraft? Are you kidding me? No, but he was like, he came in, I remember as the first run, I was like, man, this is different from World of Warcraft. And I was like, oh, what? this guy played World of Warcraft. What the fuck, dude?
I know.
And, like
a lot
half
of
his
Star
chat's like, "Yo,
Wars.
this game is trash. Why are you playing this? This is Korean garbage." And then like it was like 2 weeks later, and he's like, "Dude, World of Warcraft, dog. This is the greatest game to ever exist." And I was like, "Damn, all right. I am.
Oh
all
my
right,
God.
I am a Stoopz fan. I understand now. This is it, right?
Oh my
This
God.
is it."
God damn, Stoopz, chill.
Right?
He's got a family. You don't just say that. Sorry for our listeners that are listening on YouTube and on podcast afterward. Stoopz just said, "It's all right. I didn't know who you were either." God damn.
I'm sorry, my 12 viewers can't compete with your 1,200. All right, one day, Stoopz. All right, listen.
One day we'll
After I washed up Hyper, if you want to get into PvP and scene, Stoopz, come see me, bro. Number 1 rank bronze. All right, I'm here to throw hands with everybody.
God.
But yeah, no, it was really great. Like in Stoop's approach, I've kind of taken on with my own streaming, and I feel like a lot of people have. His approach to PvE has been absolutely amazing. The whole idea of like, hey, listen, chat, I know you guys love this game. I want to love this game with you. I want to experience this game without running to YouTube. Let's run it blind. I want to learn. That has been such an amazing approach that I've taken on of like, man, I should really try that myself. Of like, let's go in blind. Let's try this without sitting and watching YouTube videos for 4 hours. So that's been really, really, really nice.
Yeah. And I mean, that builds a community of people that want to actually experience this game in a healthier way as well, right? To bring them back to the basics of gaming. Like, I mean, I remember looking on Game Facts because I'm a fucking boomer. And
man.
like being like looking through the forums trying to find like any information on like how to like play Final Fantasy VIII optimally, right? But like it like for Stoopz to be able to start creating the blind style of gaming again, it's great.
Especially when there's so much, like you can literally type anything. I will definitely say this though.
Super quick.
Yeah.
Flip's cam died.
He said
I
BRB.
think he's gonna step away real quick.
Okay.
Wow, wow, Laufie, just call him out like that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I think the thing that's been that really made me want to go with blind runs is the first time I watched the Albershad video. I was like, nah, fam, I'm good on that. I'm not kidding. There's no way. I was like, bro, this is like someone just like tried to do like trigonometry in front of me and is like, hey, now let's send a ship to space. And I'm like, yo, you ever play Pokemon Go? I got a mean Charizard I can show you. Get me away from this. Like, what? It was like so great. Like, my friends were literally like, we watched the Albershad on. No. We watched Saint Hone's Albershad, like our raids difficult video, and not even 2 minutes in, I was like, what?
Did you see
like, what is
Gold reaction?
Yeah,
dude. I was like, "There's no fucking way." I'm like, "Is it?" And like, my chat the whole time is like, "Yo, the worst part is like, he's not lying. Like, it's not easy, dude." And I was like, "You know what, dude? Y'all ever seen a chaos dungeon before? I got like 7 or 8 characters. I could run through that. I can show you what that looks like. This Albershad thing is, I'm good on that one, bro. We can come back to that one another day, chat.
Yeah.
Let's go do a Guardian raid." I'm like, jeez.
Asmongold said it perfectly. He watched about, I want to say, 1.5 to 2 minutes of it, and then Saint One just goes, and this is where it gets hard. And he pauses the video and goes, I fucking hope this game is pay to win. I guess I'm not trying to do all these mechanics, and it's like anytime somebody asks me a pay to win question, I'm like, dude, go watch the episode, right? You hope this game is pay to win, honestly.
You know what I've learned about the whole pay to win argument? Listen, you could swipe to your heart's content, have the highest gear score, but those later Legion raids 100% still require you to know the mechanics to get your team through it, and you can't buy skill. Your gear score is not going to save you. And I got that rude awakening when I was doing Beakiss, and my team was like, hey, listen, you need to do this mechanic or we're not going to pass. And I was like, all right, well then, we're going to learn.
Well,
we're going to learn.
Real quick, want to remind you guys, Flip also still wants to go in blind, so we don't want to say
no,
too
we're
much.
not going to spoil anything.
Right.
I'm just going to say, Flip.
Everything's good so far.
Yeah.
No, we're not gonna give you the details. I'm just gonna say it's very fun and enjoyable.
and
it's only like an hour of your time.
In comparison to World of Warcraft, we have like our baseline difficulty is still hard for all this stuff, Whereas in World of Warcraft, obviously, it's very puggable. As Legion raids and more gear score comes out, these Legion raids get a little bit easier. So you will be able to see the content after like new content comes out. You'll be able to go back and be like, oh wow, Albershud's a little bit easier. Maybe I can get a bus through this, like get a carry run or whatever you want to call it. What frustrates me about the whole thing is like all these people that are coming from World of Warcraft that definitely paid for that first 100 title, you know, got carried by their raid. I really want to see them in these difficulties, these hard modes. Like, can you get Albershud horns from all the hard modes that you have to clear for that? That's spicy to me. And like the fact that they're going in that route where they're like, hey, we're gonna give you cosmetics up to a certain point, and then we have a cutoff period. If you do not finish this, or you're not part of this initial experience in its most difficult setting, you don't get the cosmetics for it. Let's keep going. You know, like I like that. Give people the rewards for the difficult stuff that they put themselves through. So.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, you know, I said earlier that I didn't really want to be spoiled by PvE, but maybe you guys can enlighten me. Is there a platform to do competitions PvE wise? I mean, you know, Archives were doing it the PvE side, but it's event organization, and it doesn't have to be us. It can be like really good community pillar like Stoopz or Saint. Is there a good opportunity, you know, knowing that I don't know much about the PvE side of things, to do a PvE related competition? What would that look like?
You could do two. Well, I mean, you can do like 2 or 3 instances of it. You can do speed runs and you can do worlds first. Or like the 2 major. The tough thing though, and where it, I mean, you could even with a speed run or worlds first, the information's there, and that's kind of the tough part, is because people can study it, but if you don't actually do it, watching a YouTube video isn't going to really help you. But you could definitely do something like speedrun events or world's first events when the content does drop. People can enter to go for like world's first runs and stuff like that. But speed is going to be the big thing, because it really does come down to speed and efficiency. But eventually you get to a point where you can have everyone take their gear off and wipe, and one person can solo an entire an entire raid, like
do
an
they
entire
have those
Legion raid.
buses for Albershud yet?
Albershud, no. As far as I know, no.
Yeah.
I've only seen like Volton, that like truly Volton, where you're getting bussed through.
Maybe be a kiss in like phase 1 with 2 people. Not to spoil anything, but still you'd have to. I don't even know about be a kiss at all, actually. But the thing that I would worry about that is if we're not on the same content patch. Obviously, you're still catering towards just Korea right now, because in the situation, if there is money on the line, people are going to do whatever they possibly can to get the advantage, right? So if you have, when Albershud comes out in the States, Shaza, for everybody that hasn't really, I keep hammering that home, there's gonna be so many people that either practiced it on RU, practiced it on KR, and then they go in and one-shot it. And it's so fast, and you're like, well, they did it in an hour and a half, whereas like it originally took Saint 4 days. I think first clear was 2 days in. Was it like 22 hours was first clear? Yeah. So, and that's 22 hours straight. So that's like, if it was on KR, yeah, it's totally applicable, and that could be a really cool event. But I think until we get on the same patch as KR, we still have run into that issue.
How about because when I watched that Loa on event, there was something that really stood out to me, and that was the whole customs, where you can do like Mario Party style or even MOBA style games. Did you guys get any more information in that? Because that to me was like, you can go crazy with that stuff.
I got a little bit more. I don't know about Laufie and DJ. Did you guys get any more information on the mod mode that was introduced, that they talked about?
From not Laufie, you want to go first?
I don't know anything else aside
from what I understand. It's just like what they have and they're gonna do like a test run of something for like a month or something like that.
Yeah, it was more like, you know how we get like holiday events in MMOs now, where you get like a go kill this like Christmas themed boss type of thing, right? It's gonna be something kind of similar to that, is what it felt like, where they create this like content and introduce it, and players can go around and play it and stuff like that. But it wasn't on the level of like I thought it was like player created, like players were creating the MOBA, but it seems like it's something that they're gonna introduce
Yeah.
on their own.
One thing
okay.
Zav just brought up that possibly kind of ties into this with like what other competitive aspects there are. GVG essentially has gotten the shaft for the most part in RU and KR, from what it seems like, in terms of what you can do, since it is gear based unequalized. And what we're getting, you might be able to make a spectator sport out of GVG because it does have that MOBA style where you're controlling objectives, you're trying to do stuff as like a 16-man team or an 8-man team. That could have some sort of aspects to it. There's already rewards in the game for it, so you might be able to add something on top of that. But
I know in BDO, the siege scene in BDO is really popular, and a lot of people liked watching it. You would get guys that would show up and wouldn't really be on either side, but they would just kind of play camera to allow people to watch sieges
God,
or any type of
that's cool.
stuff like that. Yeah, so people would show up and just stand around and watch the fight, and it's obviously in BDO it's extremely chaotic, but the siege scene was still really, really fun, and it was something at the beginning that a lot of people really enjoyed watching. It eventually became too political, and it was who could pay to have someone drop for them. But yeah, that was something. I think the GVGs could be really, really cool, because if done right, we could talk about the logistics off stream, but if done right, you could really show like two guilds really going at it, especially with Rowan coming out with the red versus blue sides that are in KR right now. That's an amazing thing to watch. I really enjoyed that, because you're watching. I don't know if you guys watched Judao when the day it dropped. Judao was just running around the map, just wiping through people, and that was insane, because you could there's tons of events that you can host with that, and like kill counts and what side can take what side, in any given competition. But yeah, it was the GVG scene. I really, really, really hope gets the light shined on it that it deserves, because and RU, it's just not talked about. No one seems to really be interested in it. No one has enough information about it, and I don't know if it's a language barrier between NA and RU, or if it's just content that people just don't care about. But I think that's something that a lot of players don't even really know exist, but if shown, I think there would be more interest in players wanting to see that type of content.
Yeah, I mean, not everything has to be a competition, but it's worth looking at, what can be done, because I'd be really interested for what I would like to see this community do is really rally in terms of creating these events without Amazon having to initiate. Because what I would really like to see is, are you guys familiar with LunarCon in Final Fantasy? Where it's a huge, basically like convention center-ish type of event where different parts of the community all contribute to this massive event, and it's all player run. And I think that Lost Ark has the potential to do something like that, where you could see maybe the archives do a little PvP event into the greater convention center style community events.
That'd be so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Oh, totally. And it would be the exact kind of thing that the community managers from Amazon, all the people from Amazon would really appreciate from us. Because what we're essentially saying to them is, look, we are here. Please see us and join in the fun. This is your community. Thank you for bringing this to us. And I would love to see that kind of, let's extend the branch to them first and show them, hey, we're willing to put in the work. We love this game. And my gosh, I've seen, just trying to follow all of the people who are in Lost Ark currently, people really love this game. I mean, people love this game so much that they get up in arms when one small change happens. And I think there's a good and bad side to that. But I would love for us to really lean into the good side of it and really celebrate our love for the game. I've fallen in love with this game. Why I do all this stuff regarding the tournament scene. And I would just love for the community to really, really put themselves out there. And of course, for Amazon to meet us halfway. And I think they will, but we got to do, what we can work on. Yeah, we got to think about the things that we can control. So I don't know what the answer to that is, but that's just my hope for Lost Ark. And I think if there's a community that can do it, it would be an MMO community. Look what Final Fantasy is doing.
Mhm. I think
So
we've shown that the passion is here, that we
Mhm.
have the players already that are making these moves, that are very passionate about this game. I think now it's up to like the ball's kind of in Amazon's court to show the community back that they do care about us and they do truly care about this game, because obviously there's been talks that Lost Ark is the black sheep of their gaming future, where they're going to put all their effort into New World. Well, we've already shown that we have the potential to have more of a lasting community than New World. I mean, New World is at its infancy. Let's be real. It needs work, and it needs a lot to happen over the next year for that game to have the massive staying power. But Lost Ark has already had that from their development side, right? And now that we have it from the player side, we need the third party, the publisher, to come in and show that they have it for all of us.
Yeah, agree with you there. And honestly, maybe I can bring it back to PvP for a bit. But what would you guys like to see in terms of PvP changes? I have my own opinions on what could be done to improve the PvP scene, but I think I would love to hear your perspectives first.
Laufie first.
Yeah, Laufie, if you don't mind.
Well, this goes kind of contrary to what you're doing, Flip. But I would like to see, like, purely objectively, I would like to see a built-in PvP, like a tournament, like automated PvP tournament in the game, like Bloodline Champions used to do. It's completely automated. Nobody's casting it. Nobody's streaming it. They can if they want to, but it happens automatically in the game, and it gives you rewards for winning it. It gives you titles. It gives you like certain, well, in BLC with certain items or whatever, but they could be, kind of a battle cup. Yes. Thank you. Fishing sloth. I would like to see an automated tournament system, because then people don't like, people kind of, they come together, and there's been people that are putting together these lists. It's like, oh, like people of certain ranks can come, like, scrim with each other to kind of practice. People do like open scrims and stuff like that, but it requires like a person to host it. If they have an automated system that just rolls on its own, and everybody knows the schedule, everybody knows how it works, like where it is, and it's inside of the game, so literally every single person that plays the game knows about it, I think that will be awesome.
Doesn't
Like,
that just help
we could,
though? Doesn't that just help makes Flip's job easier, right? Because
I don't know how, like, because I don't know how the grassroots, if there even was a grassroots, like, kind of scene in BLC, because I know there was like the automated tournaments kind of just replaced that almost.
yeah,
But I don't know how, like, Flip, like, if they were to ever do that, for example, like, how would you approach that then?
Yeah, at least in our eyes, we don't see that as a detrimental effect. In fact, the more good tools Smilegate and Amazon can come up with to enhance the already existing PvP experience. Look, the community's going to find a way to create grassroots tournaments happening outside of that. Because if we ever want to do in-person tournaments, LAN events, things people can actually commute to, that is separate than whatever they come in game. And so to us, our mindset is just, let's adapt to whatever they come out with. And so to us, it wouldn't really be a detriment. So I actually agree with you, Laufie. I would love to see that in this game. That would make our jobs easier. DJ, any PvP changes you'd like to see?
I would like to see a little more love for our stages. Like, I come from like the fighting game background, right? And every stage is the same, right? In most cases, unless you're playing Smash Brothers. We're not talking about Smash Brothers here, even though I still consider it a fighting game anyways. But everything you have, like, all right, we're gonna play on this stage. Like, one of the stages in 1v1s is so rad. That black stage with all the chains, and then you get later into the fight and it starts the lightning storm and the firestorm. Well, that's dope, right? This is cool, but it's the same. Like, you could apply that to 3v3, have it be the same size, have it be like later in the match you see lightning on the outside and something like that. Make it more aesthetically pleasing for somebody in 3v3 to pick a stage. And, you know, like League of Legends had it in the beginning, change the map. Also, get rid of chicken map. Just get rid of the chicken altogether. Get rid of the chicken, get rid of random anything at all. Anyways, but I don't think we need pillars, because like League of Legends, like I was going to say, has been playing on the same map forever. We just need a little something to spice it up, make it a little more interesting, I think, in that regard, other than like balancing changes. Obviously, I want to see more balancing changes more often, but I understand that this is an MMO at its core. It is not a League of Legends. It's not a Counter-Strike. It's not a Call of Duty, right? So I understand it's going to take a little bit of extra time. I just want to see that like love for the PvP scene, that somebody, you know, like World of Warcraft tried to do it, but that's such a hard spectator sport. I think Lost Ark has a real chance here, because it's a great spectator sport. It's a flashy game, and you can make massive plays, right? And that's what we need in this scene right now, right? I understand people that have never played the game. It's tough for you to watch something like a League of Legends or CS:GO or literally anything, because you don't know what's going on, the finer points of it. But Lost Ark, my roommate literally watched the 1v1 tournament. He's never touched this game other than like a meme to play Bard at one point. And I came out of the room and he's like, bro, he started clapping. I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, I know you won. And I was like, that's fucking awesome, dude. Like, holy shit. Thank you. You know, like, that was a cool experience. And even my girlfriend also doesn't really know the game, has never touched the game, but she watches and she's like, I kind of understand what you're doing. Kind of understand. It's exciting. I could see these moving parts coming together. And I think, I mean, the only thing I would really change, like I said, is arenas and maybe a couple extra balance patches here and there, and more love from our overlords of Smilegate and Amazon.
Yeah, I agree with you there. How about you, Rufio? Getting into the PvP scene, with your experience so far,
Bronze God.
any things you'd like to see?
Yeah, there's some quality of life changes I'd like to see. That I don't. All right, the amount of times I get snuffed from behind my damn time clock in PvP is like beyond me. I wish that when I hide my UI, or I can get rid of the time clock as a whole and just only rely on it when I press tab, would be great. But I do this thing where I like hide the overall UI so I can see everything. So they're not hiding behind a health bar, nothing. I can't press tab to look at like my kill count or how my team's doing if we're down. I'd like to see a quality of life where they really minimize the UI, but still allow you to have the functionality of viewing your like how the match is going overall. That's basically it. I mean, I'm really new to the PvP scene, and everything that I've had thus far has been very, very enjoyable. But there's just like the quality of life things with the UI that really bother me, because like there are times where like I've gotten like a devil hunter or a gunslinger was like literally perfectly hidden behind my time clock, and they know their position. They know what they're doing. If anyone, like, I've kind of determined, like, watching, like, Laufie when she's in those higher tier ranked matches, you see these guys position themselves because they know what camera angle their opponent's going to have, and they'll position themselves behind that time clock and let off a skill, and it's like, at 200 ping, I'm already like at a disadvantage. So it's like, damn, dude, I'm gonna get snuck super bad. But other than that, yeah, I like the current state of it now. I would like to see maybe a spectating in 1v1s or a true 1v1 system where you don't have to get 2 other people or 4 other people in a lobby to set up a 1v1. I'd like you to literally be like, and this isn't like a more structured dueling system, because there's times I've wanted to duel my friends, but I'm 160 legacy level and they're legacy level 3. So even if I take off my gear, there's still somewhat of a stat disadvantage. So I'd like to see if I could just straight 1v1 with people. I think that would be really great. But I would like to see spectating, being able to house that ability to let your friends come in and watch. It would be absolutely amazing. I know there's some content creators like Odie has been doing a lot of customs, and it sucks because we have to rely on someone streaming in Discord to watch the fight if we're not watching it on stream. And you really want to see it like live, like as it's actually happening. It would be really great if you could sit in, even if it's something where it's not a pool of like 6 people, but like 30 people could sit in. Like if you guys, imagine if you guys were able to host a tournament and we could be in the game and live watch the tournament. That would be absolutely amazing. Seeing things happen live would be great. It's like going to an NBA game, except for you're watching someone get their face beaten. Like that would be absolutely amazing. So there's some quality of life changes I'd like to see, mainly with the UI though. I think is my biggest gripe as a beginning PvPer. That's my biggest gripe is the UI.
You know, I want to add one thing that I kind of thought of. I already mentioned this on Kanon's podcast before. But like I'm like super. It's such a minor change, but I'm super passionate about it, and I feel like it's like a small thing that would have a good ripple effect. Whatever they decide to do with like rewards for ranks, first of all, make them good. But like if they're giving out cosmetics for like getting a certain rank, make the players have to touch that rank once to get the reward. Because then some people, like there are a lot of people who, especially newer to PvP, will feel like they capped out. Like if they just have to like super like hardcore grind for like plat, and then they finally get it and they're just like, oh my god, finally I have this shiny badge or like a diamond or whatever it is. They almost feel like they don't want to queue because they just want to look at like that, like having that little achievement, you know? But
Yeah.
I feel like having it done like I think Overwatch used to do that, where it's like if you touch a certain rank once, just keep queuing because you still get the rewards for it or you still get the badge for it because that's your peak. So the game cares about your peak, not about where you finish, because more people push at the end,
Right.
more people troll win trade at the end too, so you could get shafted by that as well. I feel like allow people to just touch a rank once to get the rewards, because then they would feel like I can just keep queuing and see where I actually kept out instead of like feeling kind of scared to keep going. I would really love to see that change personally.
Yeah, I really like that idea. That's like, yeah, that's a really solid idea. Because I know, like, just in doing non-ranked, when I hit Veteran 1 and I was able to get the mount, I rode that mount everywhere. I was like, yo, I suffered in PvP to get this bad
now
boy.
imagine,
Like,
it's the blue horse. It's the blue horse you're talking about, right?
yeah, with the wings.
That blue horse actually 2 seasons ago used to be a reward for getting masters.
Oh,
and that's exactly what I'm
Jesus.
talking about. Like the blue horse was masters and the gold horse was grandmaster. That's why they're colored like that. So imagine like somebody having to like grind like that, but also with ranks. Like you have to actually win a bunch and like have like a positive win rate through all of this, and like in a deader region too. And then you finally get there, get the horse on like a percentage based rank. You're gonna sit if you really want that horse. You're just gonna sit. You're not gonna keep queuing. You know what I mean?
100%. 100%.
I've noticed in I mean, we've all played our fair share of predatorial cell phone games, but if you're doing ranked PvP in some of these cell phone games, as soon as you hit a rank, they give you like a chest and they're like, hey, if you hold this to the end of the season, you get some rewards, but here's some rewards to start off. Like I would like to see that, like you're saying, Laufie. I don't want people to feel like they have to continuously hold that rank either. That's kind of a bummer. I thought it was the other way around. I thought since I hit plat in Korea, I could just like snooze. But now I know I need to go climb more again. All right, great. Thanks. I lost those 250 points for nothing.
Yeah, those are really great. Honestly, from my standpoint, well, let me start with the things that they're already going to do. One, please pop a Smilegate DirectX 11 as soon as possible. That would just really help everyone, not just PvP, the community. Second, that 1v1 mode, actually at Rufio, I think they mentioned in the Loa on.
Mhm.
Well, it was like really briefly, like, hey, can you make a 1v1 mode? And the director Guillaume was like, all right, yeah, we'll do it. So we'll see.
I think it's an
But
absolute necessity.
I would love to see Smilegate or Amazon make developer tools available to the community. And we're talking about like APIs so that, you know, these build calculators, they don't have to like scrape the website just to get the skill names and the skill icons. Just make that easier for the community so we can build a huge community resource around these things. And for PvP specifically, like if you can give us like game events, like, hey, you won your game, hey, this is how much damage you've done, etc., that would just be really helpful. A replay system, kind of like what League of Legends does, just so you
Ooh.
can review your gameplay without having to go to like OBS and
Yeah.
having to record it. That would be amazing. I would love to see, for the support classes out there, something to actually showcase their
Yes.
utility, like damage prevented or shields done.
Yes.
That would just be so much better instead of like, oh, you did this much, you did 300k scrub,
Yeah.
etc. So
If they expand, at least if they like after match, like during match, obviously that it's like when you play Call of Duty, and like I don't know if you guys played Call of Duty like recently, but they've made it to where it's mostly about your kills, like objective time, and then like that's it, right? And then after match, your after match report really breaks down the details like more. I would like to see something like that. That would be really dope to see where like your after match report really details like I'm not saying, you know, like break it down on an engineering level, but like at least give like more like damage prevented, damage done, like shield up time, shield down, like, you know, like really see, because that way, like for me, if I was getting into the PvP and I was starting, or if I was wanting to go with a more support based class, I could, you know, my friends could hold me accountable and I could hold myself accountable of like, I need to utilize shields more or casting more support based abilities to really increase the damage to have like, you know, a better outcome instead of going for a DPS. That type of stuff would definitely be really, really dope to see. I would like to definitely see stuff like that introduced to the game.
And
is there something like that in PvE already? I'm
kind of, I mean, with the MVP board, but that's about it.
It's
Okay.
very,
Very
very,
minimal.
very
They don't-
basic. They don't,
Yeah.
Yeah.
their
they
whole
just keep that
like
title.
yeah, their whole philosophy system behind it is like they don't want to promote toxicity. That's like a big thing. They don't want to have any
like damage
like people
meters,
basically
etc.
like, yeah, you don't want to get out of a fight and then have someone turning around and crapping on someone's like abilities during like a guardian raid, for instance. There's been times that I like, you know, I just wasn't getting my skill rotation down and I was getting completely out damaged by my friends. I would rather look at a percentage than to see that they did 900 million damage to like my 50 million or something. You know what I mean? But that's like their approach. They want to keep it very neutral while still giving out the necessary information as needed.
They did say they were going to
but
update
yeah.
it as well. So we'll see going forward. I think they're going to give you more information. They finally added the DPS meter in your training room, which they never really had before. So that's like a huge step in that direction. But like you guys are saying, we haven't had a push for PvP like this in an English speaking way that we could get across. Like we could get this in someone's hands that could be like, hey, maybe these players do actually want this information. Because I mean, sure, KR's explained that they probably want this as well on whatever podcast or whatever they do. I'm not sure how it works over there or what they have available, but obviously we've got a pretty big voice when it comes to PvP. I personally know a lot of people that want this push, and with you guys and Sage making this push, there's like a real stamp on this. It's like, hey, these are things you guys should be looking at that really help this section of the community that is your MMO as a whole, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you. And honestly, what are you guys feeling? Are you guys cautiously optimistic at how Amazon's going to approach this? Are you hyperhopium? Like, just I would love to see what your general sentiments are, because I think the big worry is how they handled New World, but from what we know, it's supposedly a different team. So I'd be interested to see what you guys think, having, being content creators and being a bit more in the forefront.
I'm nervous. I'm very nervous.
Me too.
I say this because I feel like their social media team is like new to promoting like a game, and
I think one thing that I'm less nervous about is that I know that the people that are passionate about Lost Ark are the people that get involved in this project, right? They
Mhm.
didn't just say like, "Hey, everyone that's going to work on New World, you're going to go work on New World, and then whatever people suck at New World, we're going to move you into this other area of this other game, and you're going to go sit over here, and this is your detention until you fix your shit and come back to New World." Like, it seems like the two teams are definitely passionate about their projects, whether or not um their social media team is actually
Yeah.
divided. That's neither here nor there, because the development team and the publishing team seems to be passionate about this project.
Yeah, but the problem is we don't see that.
Right.
Like
We don't get a
for the
chance.
normal,
That's
the
just like what
average
I feel.
consumer, well, the average consumer, I'll say, we see that because we are eat, sleeping, breathing Lost Ark. But I feel like the average consumer isn't seeing the passion. They're only giving. They're like, if you were to go off of what you're getting on the social media as like an average person looking this game up, I feel like I'm a little confused. It just feels very juvenile the way that the campaigning for this has been handled. Like I'm still surprised that we don't get like Lost Ark 30-second commercials yet. Like no one's coming to my stream like, dude, I just got a Lost Ark commercial. Especially for
Yeah.
Amazon who owns Twitch, why have you not
Yeah.
put out at least a simple
Wow. I
like
didn't even think of
get
that.
come play in February 8th, February 11th, free to play. Check out these amazing classes. Like I don't did you guys see like I got a trailer sent to me yesterday on stream. Someone sent me a trailer showing like the old, like the original ones that were like super cool. One of them didn't make sense. It was like a guy skateboarding in the middle of a desert and attempting to jump the Grand Canyon. But then it was like play Lost Ark, and I was like, all right, sure, like whatever. But the other one was like kind of cool. It was like this like whole assassin themed like trailer, and then it was like it turned into like play Lost Ark, and that's something I'd like to see. I'd like to just see just flat out advertisement and not you telling me about my 7 seas of the ocean and stuff like that. Like I get what they're doing. You're trying to introduce people to the game, but I think a flat out ad would just be nice to see for consumers, especially with all the eyes that are tuning into Twitch on a daily basis.
Mm.
I think if you got one little 30-second commercial out there, I think a lot of people would be it would pique a little bit more interest
Dude,
than
even if
what
it's
you
just
get
in
off
the
of
MMO
social
board.
media.
Like,
Yeah, it's true.
you know, not even, it doesn't even have to be these like on the League of Legends streams and shit like that. Like I assume on their end they have a way to pick and choose which
Oh,
which
absolutely.
games are getting these certain particular ads. If they did targeted ads, shit, even in the Lost Ark, like just show us that you're trying to do
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, any predictions on what's gonna come out in that January update?
I think you know what, DJ, I'm gonna let you answer that one first.
I think they give away the whole farm. I think they tell us exactly what's coming. Because right now there's so many leaks going on that they probably had to push it back because of all of these, like these content creators. This is to talk about this as well. The content creators that are on the inside that got this like script and this information, they're releasing these videos that people are dissecting, and these veterans are like, this is what we're looking at, like looking on the inside the roster, stuff like that. Like, wait, did this what? Twitch drops? Talking Cube? What is this? Sorry, I
It,
just saw
it
that.
actually loads. It's an actual page that loads too. Well, you know they're gonna do Twitch drops though.
Huh,
This is a
okay,
given.
yeah, that's fine. But who gets involved? Who gets to go with that, you know? Who actually gets on board with that? Cuz I'll tell you, I streamed all of beta for, you know, several hours every day, and I didn't get Twitch drops. I know a few people that did, and it's because they were lucky. Laufie, how you gave me some like however many keys, didn't you?
Yeah, I reached out to them and I was like, "Hey, I'm in the program. Can I get drops?" And they're like, no, but here's some keys." So that's basically
It's,
it.
yeah,
I
They
remember.
gave
I had
me
friends that
constellation keys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had friends that were in the drop, and I still to this day do not understand the drop when literally they were accepting everybody to
Right.
get instant access. Like I did have like a couple friends that like were like, I'm not gonna watch you for an hour. I want to get in and play with you for 7 hours. So get me a key. Thank God I had friends that were like, dude, they give us like 50 keys to start with before we start unlocking even more keys. So here, take 10 and just give them out on your stream if you want. Like, you're helping me because I don't know what I'm gonna do with all these keys. Like, it's tough when they're already watching like my channel for an hour and they're gonna get a key regardless, or they're gonna go sign up and get in.
I mean,
So
I would like to see, like, if they're gonna do this with all these other content creators to give them like the traction, or give them the clicks to like the Ericses, the Force Gaming people. Like, if they're gonna give them Twitch drops and they're not gonna give somebody like Laufie Twitch drops, that is like such a misstep on their part. Because yeah, while she already has, and most of the people that are in her channel are going to be already playing Lost Ark, it like you're giving these people that are already successful that don't need this a higher platform in Twitch. Like, they're gonna get more viewers because they have Twitch drops enabled, whereas Laufey can't put that in her title, you know. And even if she did, and people come by and they're like, "Where's my Twitch drops?" Oh, you're lying. I'm leaving. That just hurts
yeah,
the community in the end, right? So
yeah,
it's kind of scary.
I agree with you, DJ, to an extent. Definitely, like, because it's coming from the sentiment of like Amazon having to support people who have been around and who have done a lot of work for them. Not like for them, but for the game for free, just out of passion. But at the same time, I feel like giving like us, like smaller streamers, kind of Twitch drops isn't going to do that much in terms of promoting us. So I think at the end of the day, what needs to happen is once the game is launched and once it has an established community, then people like us, like smaller streamers who know the game inside and out, at least in certain aspects. Obviously I don't know fuck all about PvE, but like in like if they ever do like a PvP showcase or like whatever, like have a big streamer there. So like for example, who's like competition oriented Shroud, and then have like Lynn or me like come in and be like teaching them like PvP, teaching them arena, showing them the combos or something
yeah.
like that. That kind of merges the two, and that will really promote like the smaller streamers of Lost
Mm-hmm.
Ark.
Mm-hmm.
Right now
Yeah.
with the drops, honestly, what I'm hoping for, I hope a bunch of these people who don't play the game but have huge followings get the drops, because then the people who aren't familiar with the game, their own community is gonna get given like a free pass to go and try the game, and that's kind of your entrance, is your foot in the door. It's like, oh, you're hoping that most of these people, a percentage of these people, likes
Mm-hmm.
those games, and I'm
That's what.
hoping that they actually take a few of the larger people from our community, so like people like Stoopz, people like Saint One, like people who have like a lot, who are considered big streamers even within the Lost Ark community, and they give those people Twitch drops, because then it kind of merges those two together. For us, like giving us Twitch drops isn't going to do anything for our like popularity, because we're going to get drained out by all the shrouds, by all the lyrics, regardless whether or not we have drops. Because like, why would majority of the people like scroll down to like page 3
True.
to do drops if they can just go to lyric and experience like the game for the first time through the eyes of somebody who's on their level of knowledge? And then later on, once that's all settled, once all the dust is settled, then do like joint streams with these big streamers, so that not only are you bringing in, like, for example, like the example that I did with Shroud and the PvP thing, you're bringing in Shroud with his own community, and then you're bringing in Lynn, for example, or myself, or whoever else is a PvP, like yourself, DJ, or whoever else is like a PvP person, because I can only do PvP examples.
Right.
That way it merges the two together and it promotes the other one. So you know what I mean? Like that would make more sense to me. I feel like drops won't actually do that much to us.
You know, it reminds me of like the Big Brother Little Brother program that you're like mentioning. You know, so from my understanding from the beta, that was their original intent, was to give you guys a platform, to like actually like they were trying to find PvEers. I know there was another content creator that got in, but there was something with boosting characters and allowing, like, there was an issue obviously with the beta. I think it's something we're gonna see, where you're gonna see these smaller creators that have been in the category getting partnered with bigger streamers to learn, like, run dungeons and stuff like that. I just know that in the beta they couldn't do it. So in their defense, they did try, but it couldn't be done due to, like, just Smilegate was like, we can't facilitate that right now. That's not gonna happen.
They kind of did that a little bit with Saiwo, because Saiwo was there with the other two streamers.
Yeah.
Who are like less familiar, but they have bigger followings, and they brought in Saiwo with the expertise, and that mixed them two very well, because Saiwo was just leading the entire show. He just took over and he was just leading it because he knew exactly what he was talking about. That's kind of the thing that we need, and I'm sure that gave Saiwo a pretty good boost, and I'm sure that got a lot of the people from both of the other streamers communities interested in the game because of how knowledgeable Saiwo is, and he was able to explain and digest it for them instead of just watching a new player's like perspective and not understanding just as much as they don't understand.
I think it's a double-sided sword when you give a big streamer the platform to play the game, because I've seen some big streamers that did come in and just ripped the ever-living shit out of Lost Ark. And these are guys with like 30,000 viewers. You're sitting in front of 30,000 people just nitpicking the crap out of the game and not having one positive thing to say. Meanwhile, there's 20 other channels that are like, man, this class is cool, man, this content's cool, man, this is something interesting, and it's all because of this one streamer now. So like once that person leaves and that community still kind of trickles around, now we're left to play, like, pick up and like correct all the misinformation. Like during the beta, the amount of correction on pay to win that I had to do was absolutely abysmal, because it was like, oh well, this streamer with 20,000 said this game is nothing but pay to win because it's just Korean MMO trash and this is what you're gonna expect. And I'm like, what? Like, fam, do you want to see what like $20,000 get you in this game, fam? I'm not gonna be able to beat this raid because I don't understand the raid. I can swipe for my heart's content, it's not gonna do anything for me. So it's a double-sided sword. You want to promote, but this is why I would like to see the Laufies, the Saint Tones, the DJs be partnered with a bigger streamer. Because then it's like when they don't have an understanding, instead of them looking at their chat that's moving 100 miles a second, trying to pull out little pieces of information to get an understanding, there's a human person that's right there in a Discord call that's able to say, hey, let me help you understand what you may not necessarily understand with the game.
I mean, that helps ease the streamer into it as well, right? I mean,
absolutely.
We're talking about the ideal scenario for how we can progress the scene forward, in a very healthy way. Like if Stoopz sat in with Shroud, like obviously Stoopz is not on Shroud's level, but like in terms of our community, Stoopz is where Shroud is for like all of Twitch, right? So you have this person that can actually digest the information for Shroud, give and steer him on the right path, as opposed to, like Chad is saying a little bit, like Shroud didn't take well to this game, and you said, Rufio, we caught the backlash, and we spent like a month afterward trying to reteach people that even had a question about the game what they
basic
should be
information.
Yeah,
there was he didn't have a firm understanding of like what true endgame was. So it was like I would get these questions, and like again, it was like, man, I have to like test like learn patience, because I have to pick up and like try to help these guys understand. And I'm like, man, like what? Who gave you guys this information? Like,
dude,
I want Shrouded.
Stoops and Asmon, that would be the best stream ever. I'd watch the shit out of that.
Oh my god.
And Asmongold actually likes the game, and
yeah.
gets more involved in it.
Um,
I want to hear. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say Lalamundo brought up kind of a good point that rising tide raises all ships. So the more people that are involved, the more people that have eyes on the game in itself, you'll end up hooking the people that have a further interest rather than just watching their favorite streamer. But this is like a trickle down economics idea. You know what I mean? Like you hand a bunch of money to to the rich, generally they sit on it, right? So it's like it sure there's now way more money in circulation, but is it actually in circulation? Is like it can go both ways on that. Sure, you'll have eyes, but are the eyes in the correct place? Are they doing health to the community?
Well, I think there's only one way to find out
True.
is if we proactively pursue it. One of the reasons I really like this discussion is because one, these are really good ideas. I like the fact that, hey, how can we work with these bigger streamers that, Amazon's going to bring in? But perhaps more importantly is how can we proactively pursue that 17 days out? These are really good ideas, but if we don't act on them or at least get the word out, it's just going to be wishful thinking. And so what I'm hoping is, can we go to the forums and just say, hey, to anyone's listening, community managers, here are a list of streamers in the Lost Ark community that would be really worth reaching out to? Or
Well,
if you...
They've already done that.
They actually made, like, one of the CMs actually made an official thread made by them, and that was like, drop your favorite creators or whatever. Obviously, I think the top two mentioned were Saint One and Stoopz. Like I was mentioned a few times. Like I mentioned DJ. Like I gave like
you gave a
props to
huge list,
all
and
the
thank you for
PvP,
that,
like,
by the way.
all the PvP people, yeah, because it's like most of the people recommended are being on the PvE side. But yeah, like they already did that, and I don't know, like they didn't follow up with anybody on who they reached out to or whatever. And
I think.
yeah.
So I talked about that on my stream, that list, because this came up with the whole, like, I think the more and more they started putting out their videos of like Lost Ark Encyclopedia, and like none of them were content creators in the category now. Like I would have viewers that were coming in like, I don't understand, like how come like Laufie, if she's shoutcasting PvP and has a firm understanding, like why isn't she the one doing the video? Like she was highly recommended in the PvP category. Why isn't someone like Saint Tone talking about like the dungeons or the raids or the void, like any content PvE related? Why isn't he the one doing the voiceover? Like he was highly favored in that poll. Like I don't understand. Like this doesn't make sense. I don't think that poll was meant for current. I think everything we're getting right now has been in the works.
Yeah.
And I'm a part of the group. I think we're kind of salty because it's like, man, what the fuck am I doing all this for if I'm like watching these guys come in and read a script and know nothing about the actual game.
I have a question for you guys, real quick. So we talk about how much we love Rox. Like, great CM, she's awesome. How do we get something like this platform in front of her so that she can then use our words and be like, hey, these guys have made a podcast that's actually getting some traction. How do we get that in front of the eyes and the players that be? You know what I mean?
That's
I think
a really good question.
Yeah, I think Flip really hammered it in with, you need to be on the forums. Like you need to just be very proactive in the community. Like it's the same thing like with being on stream. Like you have to be on your stream, like really being diligent in promoting the game and promoting what you like to see. Like look at the war, not the war. Look at the conversation that Stoopz started over the course of the last few weeks with the whole divide between East and West, and why we can't bridge that gap to allow us to play with each other, right? And it's, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Stoopz is a West Coaster. I know I'm a West Coaster, and I'm going East because a large majority of my friends are on East. I would love to be able to sit on West and still raid with my friends on East, but that type of conversation has garnered a lot of traction. It's a hot topic. It really comes down to just starting the conversation and definitely having like valid facts and information behind what you're trying to argue. Don't come in and just go, I want to see void dungeons drop gold like tenfold because I don't want to grind for gold, right? You needs to be a valid point in which you're trying to have a discussion about. It can't just be you're complaining about juvenile things. And like I said, I'm very I understand why they're promoting, why they're utilizing larger streamers and larger content creators because they have the audience. I think in just time we are going to see the actual Lost Ark content creators as a whole get their platform. It's just right now we're in marketing phase. We need to get eyes on this game and interest brewing, and the best way to do that is to reaching out to larger avenues and larger viewerships. So
Yeah. And if we ever do, I say we, not that I'm going to do this, but if we have content creators have rocks on, it shouldn't be with the pretense of trying to get insider information out of her. We need to make it so that, hey, we're on here because we want to get to know who you are. You know, why are you in this? Who are you as a person? Because we really need to work on that relationship between the community and the community managers. And it would really help a lot of the toxicity if we just understand who they are as people, because sometimes we forget the human behind all of this. And community management is really difficult work. And they
Yeah.
get to see the really shitty side of the community for prolonged periods of time. So
Mhm.
if we do ever have rocks on, please let's make it as PPC as possible.
Absolutely.
And really just make it, you know, beneficial for her to
Mhm.
get what
Listen.
she's about.
I
Yeah.
don't think this community ever goes for the throat. You know, like World of Warcraft, they got shit on for so long as a community from these CMs that like didn't truly care about what they were saying. And what would legitimately happen is people would say, like Stoopz, prime example, talking about like solo queue and what the health of PvP could be for World of Warcraft. And they sit there and they're like, we hear you, we hear what you're saying, and they turn the blind ear immediately to them. There's nothing changed. And then when people left in droves, they're like, oh wait, guys, we're hearing what you're saying now. And it's like, yo bro, this is too late. I think that right now the CMs, we're in that Goldilocks zone where we don't really hear from a lot of them, but they still are hearing us enough. Now, like, where's the action, right, on either side? How do we connect the two, like,
Right.
to really advance this?
The thing is, your voice. Have you guys been on like the Steam forums, like the discussion board, or the actual
sometimes
forums?
I can't, dude.
Actual forums, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Can't stand
So
Please.
it's probably one of the most like eye gouging things to scroll through because it's the fact that someone has internet access and they have an account and they just want to complain about something. So it's really hard, and I feel so bad for community managers.
Oh yeah.
When you have to open a forum and it's like a billion responses of like, I hate this because this, and it's like the most juvenile reason to be like upset about a game. Like I remember prior to the Amazon forums coming out, post beta, the forums as a whole, it was like these guys had only played the beta for like an hour and they were writing essays about why they didn't like the game. And I'm like, man, I feel so bad for the community manager. Like you have to sift through all of this to actually find like true criticism. If we do get an opportunity to sit down with Rocks, I would like to come to the table with like legitimate discussion points, not like the same beat points that she's answered a million times, like the censorship discussion, the plat pack discussion, or do the packs like do the pack stack. It's like, dude, you've answered this a million times. Like,
I mean,
let's get to the real crux of like the behind the scenes of Lost Ark.
Isn't that why we're creating this platform, right? So that we can
Absolutely.
get to the real points of why we're all here and what our passion for is in this game. I mean, originally talking to Tesla, I didn't want to go into a podcast being like, okay, let's talk about like the weekly discussion of this patch notes. Let's go through all the patch notes together. Obviously, we will do certain parts of that, like talking about PvP and PvE as a whole, but we wanted to create a discussion that we could bring to somebody that you have valid criticism and valid information coming your way in a digestible format. That's not just four people on a show talking about how much they hate your video game that they're playing 8 hours a day.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Question, Stoopz. I see you in chat. Do you have any questions that you would like to ask Flip? Also,
Stoopz, I've been watching you since your WoW days, by the way. So
big fan.
Big fan.
Make
Big
me
fan.
feel like fucking. All right, Stoopz, I'm a huge fan. All right, I remember before you were gaming. All right, I was a big fan of you. Be pre-WoW, okay?
In high
Pre-WoW,
school,
Diablo 2 days.
When you guys were like on the same basketball
Yeah.
team in high school.
Yeah, when you were doing track and field back
Yup.
in like 03, I
Yup.
was your big supporter, dude.
Yep,
Stoops, I went to high school with your mom. She was a good woman.
yep. When he was in metalwork and he was cutting like sheet metal with his jaw, chiseled, dude. I was watching it. I was there.
I do. Stoopz, if you can you jump in? I want to hear.
I made it so he's available to jump in. By the way, Stoopz.
I want to hear you jump in and make a statement. I actually love the woman. Can you just jump in and just say it, Stoopz? People want to hear your voice, Stoopz. We miss you. Okay.
He's probably just chilling on his bed watching this.
He's probably in bed. Yeah, it's okay. No
No,
pressure.
yeah, no pressure. But
Watch
one thing I did want to point out that Stoopz was watching the 1v1 tournament like this was a watch party. You know how awesome that
That was
felt?
dope.
Like
That was so dope.
coming
Dude,
into
you know-
Stoop's chat.
I had to like message him like in his Discord. He was like, "Oh, I'm not sure," and I saw that in the middle of the tournament. I was like in between casts, and I opened his Discord, and I was like, "Why isn't he streaming right now?" And he was like, "Oh, I don't know, guys." He was like talking in his Discord, like typing, and he's like, "I don't know if I should restream this. I feel like I'm stealing the viewers." And I literally
No,
had
not
to
at all.
message him.
Stoopz, you are
and
the
be like,
nicest person.
Turn your stream on.
Oh
like,
my
do
God.
it. And he actually was like, "Guys, Laufie told me I could do it." And he went live. Like he's way too
Golly.
considerate.
You
He's
were
actually a saint.
just literally
I
one
think
of
a
the
lot of people had like both streams. I know I wanted to have his commentary on like what was going on, especially the toxicity of DJ and Canon going back and forth. I
You're
was
welcome.
like, I got to see an outside perspective. Although I don't know if you guys know this chat, but DJ doesn't want to say anything. He paid Canon to lose. I'm
I
just throwing
did
it out there now.
whatever, dude. Come on now.
But he did take Canon to the Holy Land, so.
I did.
No, and to be honest, our policy right now is please restream. Honestly, this is for the community. Please enjoy it. A lot of people reached out about, hey, can I restream it so I can like talk about it in German for the German community?
Oh hell yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Honestly, like just get more eyes on it. Let's make people fans of this game. Obviously, we're benefiting just by people like watching our tournaments, but even if it wasn't us, we just want to share the love around. So,
Yeah,
mean,
and
thank
honestly,
you for
like
watching.
I was. Oh, hello.
hey, the man, the
Oh,
myth,
he's
the
muted.
legend.
Hold up. Fix yourself, Stoopz.
Oh, I am muted. Hello.
Hey.
Hey,
Hi.
Stoopz.
Welcome
sh-
in.
If I hear myself twice, hold on. I just had something small to say, but I just was listening to you guys, and I'm like watching the fight on my other screen and listening to you guys, and I just had something small to say. I don't want to interrupt you though. You were saying something, so I'll let you finish, and then I'll get it off.
Oh no, you
Wait, you were watching the fight, the UFC fight? Are you a UFC fan?
Yeah, big fan
Oh,
actually.
hell yeah. Okay. All right. Sorry. Continue.
No. No, I wanted to say because it's a little off topic, it's a little late because you guys changed the topic, but it was
No.
about the drops thing and the I think Rufio was talking about the like Eric's, is that how you say his name? The Eric's
Yeah.
like whatever that was, the PvP video, the script reading from I can't remember her name. She was in my own community. Shit. What's her name?
Nagura?
Nagura. Yeah,
Nagura,
Nagura.
sorry.
Naguri?
You know,
Naguri's
all of those.
Sorry.
Yeah, all of those things. And at the end of the day, I just want to say, especially for you guys, because I've been through a couple. I'm sure you guys have been through a couple launches, and I've been through a couple launches in my own game, which was WoW. And it always, like, no matter what, you always kind of get washed out. And maybe just a little bit of sage advice, I guess I could give, but also maybe you could share it with your friends and other people in the community. You always get washed out. I'm gonna get washed out in this game, right? Like we all get washed out by the shrouds and all that other stuff, right? But especially if you're a smaller content creator and you're trying to grow and you have a lot of knowledge to share. I chatted with you about this too, DJ, and I know you don't do it, Rufio, but if you have that fucking knowledge, go share it, right? And the best place to share it is not on Twitch, it's on YouTube, right?
Mhm.
So make yourself a fucking video, man, right? Like That's gonna do better than any sponsored fucking video that they're gonna put out that's scripted. Everyone knows it's scripted. They know it's fake, right? They know that person doesn't know anything. So if you got that knowledge and you have been playing the game for a while, share that knowledge, and then people will pick up off of that on YouTube, right? You're on Twitch. It's cool to stream. It's easy work, but you know, we fucking bitch. Look at that shit. Right?
Oh, that's good. I'm sorry.
It
I
definitely makes-
didn't
it
have
definitely makes
another
sense.
picture for you. I'm sorry.
But remember this. I told this to DJ, and I just want to share this with all of you guys here. You know, any other business you ever run, right? Any other business, man, you pay for advertising.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
pay
absolutely.
to advertise, right? YouTube is the only place where you get paid to advertise. You advertise yourself, and you get paid for it. So go out there and you gotta do that shit, right? It doesn't matter if it's just a small guide, especially with this launch, man, because they're not gonna fucking find you scrolling down, right? Make them find you. So, anyways, I really want to get off my chest because I know the launch is coming up, and there's a lot of other people probably listening to this that want to do this. They want to be part of the launch or whatever, right? I want you guys to fucking you guys are right. You do have a lot of knowledge. You know a lot about the game, and it is fucked up that you're not going to get any recognition for it. So go out there and get it,
Right.
Yeah.
And
you know, with
Absolutely.
YouTube.
while you're here, I just wanted to thank you again. Like taking the time. I know you sometimes you have nothing going on, but you sitting down and talking to us is so appreciated, man. Like it's really unreal for you to come in and sit down and be like, "Hey, you know, I got some other stuff going on, but I'll come in and chat for a second." We thank you so much for what you do for this
You know,
community.
man, but the whole reason why I stayed in this game is the community. The community's sick. I think Flip was talking about it earlier, and I just love the community. You know, I love everyone in the community.
And-
Everyone's super nice, and the memes are funny. It's just like a really cool, and it's gonna change a little bit. And I loved what you had to say too. You know, I've been listening this whole time, doing other shit, cleaning up my room, but it's like, you know, when other people come into the community and all these new players come in, these new streamers, it's going to change a little bit. But the one thing as players that we do have control over, as cheesy as it is the community, right? We don't have control over what Smilegate does, the changes that they make, how fast the game is paced, whatever. But we do have control over the community. So especially with these new people coming in, I think it's important to try to maintain that, and that's something that we can do, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm always down to, you know, be part of the community anyway, because they've been open, you know, and welcoming to me, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
it was
Absolutely.
super inspiring to see the community embrace you so wholeheartedly.
Yeah,
Right?
I just get shit on for a living, you know what I mean?
I
They
mean-
definitely embrace me, you know what I mean?
I
Just
mean-
embrace me with Kek W's and Kek G's, you know?
Here's the
They
thing
definitely
is,
embrace,
if we
yeah.
didn't love you, right, you wouldn't get the
Mm.
memes. And these
Yeah.
memes are gold, baby.
Yeah,
Holy
they are
shit.
good. They are good. They are good.
I have never seen a community that's willing to put this much like memery into
Oh, I'm thankful for it.
dude.
It's fantastic. I mean, the thing you got over your head right now, like, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? So it's just like, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out, and I'm excited, you know, for the launch and for everybody. But anyway, I want to get on out of here and finish watching this.
Yeah,
but
do your thing.
I do want to just say, man, like, seriously, you guys, I saw you record all that stuff, really good. YouTube, if you have information, you know, Flip too, like, market it. It's free. Doesn't matter, you know. Think of a good title, think of a good thumbnail, and get that shit out there, right? Your last tournament did fucking insane.
Mm-hmm.
3K viewers, the game's not even out, right? Imagine if that was like promoted a lot on YouTube.
I
Get out there and get some attention. It's free, and you're getting paid to do it.
I would like
That's
to
rare.
see Flip you guys promote on the Reddit, because I've seen, like, obviously whether it's good clicks or bad clicks, it's all gonna help. Like, you guys posting on Reddit could help desaturate these videos that are coming in from these people that are spreading misinformation, right? Like, you have the Reddit videos that people are like just cannibalizing super hard of misinformation, and you could put out these videos, these 3v3, these 1v1s individually, and get more eyes on the tournament, stuff like that. Like, you guys, that was one thing I should have said. I think you guys do need to have like a little more outreach on your own, like your own community manager that's willing to talk to people on Reddit and go through that and be like, hey guys, come check this out. We already had a lot of viewers. We want you involved. You, Jimmy Neutron, like.
We did one in WoW with
Mhm.
Savix, right? It was a 1v1 tournament, and that's why I love the 1v1 because it has like community, like, drama in it. Like, for example,
Yeah.
Nico and Nico and Rushed, right? It's like you can build stories there, and you get it in 3v3 as well. Like, and that's not to say that you don't get it there, because there's like two teams that don't like each other. We had that in WoW as well, right? But we did a 1v1 tournament, and we just the marketing strategy was like getting notable names that everyone knew, and it didn't matter if they were good or bad. It was like example, like Saivo versus like, I don't fucking know, like Blinks, right? Like just complete mismatch, but it was just fun.
Yeah.
And you had to get people that were down to do it. So we did that. We made trailers and promoted it on YouTube, and we had 30,000 viewers, which was more than the AWC.
That's insane.
More than Blizzard's actual 3v3 tournament. We had more
Right.
concurrent viewership. 2-day tournament, right? $3,000 prize pool, by the way. That's it. $3,000. All self-funded, no sponsors. And it was like, there's videos of it on YouTube, right? But anyway, I want to get out of here. But just there's a lot to be had out there, and you can get your name out there for all the stuff that's coming up, and you can get recognized. But it's not through Twitch; it's on YouTube. So keep that in mind, and make yourselves heard. I do want to get out of here, though. Okay, I'll talk to you guys all later. Thank you all.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. I
Take it
really
easy.
like that. And I honestly super agree. For us, he hit it right on the head. What can we do, right? We got to ask ourselves, what can we do proactively? And I think going on YouTube, promoting and going hard, and then just being available for when these big streamers would like some help or would like some hand holding into this new game they're delving into, we'll be there. We can maybe reach out. We can just get in those DMs right now, like, hey, are you planning on playing Lost Ark? If you,
you don't need to get in the DMs, of course, but like you're getting in the
Right.
ears of the right people, and getting in front of the right people is always going to be important. You find some
Exactly.
random dude on that, maybe Eric's follows Reddit for some reason. I don't know why you would, as a variety streamer. That's like that would ruin your whole day. But like, maybe you have that guy, and maybe he hits you up and he's like, hey, like, dude, I would love to promote this and show a video of you guys doing this. Do you mind if I make a video about this? Because I think this is important. Like landmark situations, I think. Like,
The video you guys put out on for the rivalry was
oh my
really,
god,
really
that was
good.
so dope.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Like
Thank you.
if I really wish we would have had this conversation prior, because I would have really loved to have tapped in with a few content creators that could just play that at the beginning or the end of their stream, or even in the middle, just as a quick reminder. Even in YouTube, DJ could have thrown that in a YouTube video at the end, like, hey, by the way, you can check me out on this really dope tournament that I'm gonna be doing, like that. I really the production on that was really, really dope, and I was like, fuck, man, I wish I would have known about this. I would have definitely promoted this a lot more.
Nice.
Because
I appreciate that.
Yeah, that that type of stuff right there. You guys keep bringing that level of branding, and well, you guys will definitely be in a very, very safe space.
All right, noted. Yeah, no, thank you. Honestly, we've been kind of relying a lot on it growing organically, and not as proactive as we would like. In fact, like the beta tournament, Laufie did the majority of the legwork for promotion. So Laufie, thank you again. But man, no, just hearing that advice from Stoop, just hearing you talk about it, Rufio, I'm feeling inspired to be even more proactive as I was planning to be in these upcoming weeks. So I'm feeling the fire in my belly. So this was really helpful.
Shit, you know what? Stoopz, are you still in chat? I gotta ask him. I really gotta ask him. Man, is the age of the Google document done? Are we done with the Google Doc? I feel like meaningful websites are the wave. YouTube videos are the wave. The Google Doc era, is that still alive? Can we still do that, Stoopz? Is that okay? Can we put Google Docs out, or should we really just move to YouTube? Man, the Google Doc.
It's popular, right?
There's tons of them. There's I have easily in the last 2 weeks leading up, I have about 14 different build documents that list every class with a PvP build, a PvE build, Chaos Dungeon build. man, I'm like, there's so much. I'm like, are you guys just like all copying each other, or is this like individual information?
thing-
And it's individual information.
I think the thing about the Google Doc is that like you have somebody like cultivating this information and being it's easily accessible, but there's no monetary value on it, so you're not getting anything when you could get free monetary value from putting out a video on YouTube, right? Because
Absolutely.
that's what they want, is they want eyes on YouTube, use that platform to maintain viewership on the website. I mean, if we all put out enough videos, we all show that we're passionate about this game, there are going to be enough eyes on it. If you have a Google Doc, you're just giving the information out to people that are interested and not getting anything in return to yourself. And I think that's like
Oh,
the
absolutely.
difference. I think
Yeah, I just see them
al-
everywhere.
Yeah, it also comes back to like promotion as well. Like just it circles back to what Stoopz said, because if you make a Google document but you just put it in your own little Discord and you don't promote, you have no YouTube videos, you have no streams to kind of back up and like grow your viewership and like show people why they should listen to you, that Google Doc isn't gonna get any like attention on it either.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking about that the other day because it was like I went from like one document to another to another to another, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go to YouTube and see what Lynn says about playing Blade because like there's so many Google documents. I'm like, I don't know which one's giving me legit information. What's the date? That's the other thing with a YouTube content creator is regurgitating the same information over and over again, but changing it to each update, right?
Mhm.
So someone like Laufie or you, DJ, could put out a video with the current update with where Bard stands, and then all of a sudden it can change to what's the next major update that comes out. You can obviously something may change. There may be a nerf, there may be a buff. Skills may be like readapted or removed from like the tenfold. Like that's like where a Google Doc, it'll sit and never get updated. Like the amount of BDO documents that I have that haven't been updated in 3 years, but people still look at them like the Bible, and I'm like, man, that information is so wrong. Like, what are you gonna like? Should I really keep saving this thing? Like, it's not relevant anymore.
Isn't that the best part of YouTube, is that it's the same information in a listenable format, and you can then infer your own opinion based on, hey, when I saw this video was published, I got to think about what patch that was on, right? Or whether or not this is applicable still. And what's also great, you can continue to update it if you want. If you're, that YouTuber that's just going for straight clicks, you can make a new build guide, and then you just put in outdated in the title. Whether or not that still has 20,000 views, maybe somebody finds that and they're playing on some private server for the WoW experience. Not saying for Lost Ark here, but Stoopz, Rufio, had that question about Google Docs.
Oh yeah, no, I was asking, is the age of creating Google Docs, is that died off, or is it or are Google documents still relevant for feeding information to the masses?
Why not do
we
both?
were just talking,
right?
Oh, absolutely. No, like obviously you want to create YouTube videos, but just in general, I just see a lot of people that don't necessarily want to create YouTube videos, but they create Google documents that just get spread around. Just out of curiosity, I just feel like the age of the Google Doc is kind of like dying out. Is it? Hello?
Welcome back.
Oh, he's back.
Okay. You're asking about for you, right?
No, not for me. Not for me. No, it just
not
in general.
For you?
No, just in general. Is the
Are you
age
sure
of
it's
the
not
Google,
for you? Because
I'm positive.
I was gonna say, because what you could do, what you could do is make a Google Doc, say, hey, this Google Doc is going to like, and then here's the title, the actual only Lost Ark guide you'll ever need, and then you keep it up to date, and then you post it in your video. Say, hey guys, what's up? My name is Rufio.
Yeah.
And a lot of times on Lost Ark, there's a bunch of out-of-date information. There's patches that are happening. There's a bunch of misinformation out there. I made this Google Doc that I will update every couple of weeks. That will have all the up-to-date information, and you can have this saved, and you won't need to look for any whatever, right? Yeah. And then there's a video, right? And then you made the Google Doc that can be shared around. People can say, hey, dude, have you seen Rufio's Google Doc? It's pretty solid. It's got all this info on it, right? And you could share that with and that would help share the video. But the last thing that I was going to say, and I forgot to say this is why I came back in, is remember that no matter what, when you make your videos, okay, because I want all of you to make at least one, no matter what, when you make your videos, even if you're like, damn, dude, it only got 1,000 views, like that kind of sucks, you know, or only got 300 views or 400 views, right? It's not about how many views it gets, right? It's about what percent of that number can you convince to come check out your live stream, right? If you get 1,000, right, 1,000 views on a video, and you can convince 10% of that to come check out your stream, you just boosted yourself 100 viewers. 10%, you can't say like, hey, like, so it's about how, you know, and if you can't do that, then maybe shit, bro. Like if you can't convince people to come check you out, you know, then you should at least be able to do that. That's what I'm trying to say, right?
Social media presence is definitely important. It's like the argument of like, why not take your stream highlights and put them on TikTok? You know, that's eyes being put on. No, just in general. You see that like that argument with like having a social media presence outside of just Twitch. If you really want to grow as a content creator on Twitch, you need to expand to other avenues. Like Twitch is great for like live on demand content, but like when you're on like YouTube or something like that, that's driving to where your main passion is. So I can definitely understand. I really respect it, and thank you, Stoopz, for that information. It's definitely and it's an eye opening as a small time like content creator.
Well, I mean, it's all good luck and getting seen anyway, man. You know what I mean? It's all getting seen anyway. But yeah, I guess what the truth is too with Google Docs as well is that, you know, there's now that you have these websites like, you know, Maxroll, I think it was. They have like all these guides and stuff like that there now. So
they picked up some heavy hitters too. I mean, I would have liked to seen them pick up more people that have like a little diversity in the class role. But obviously having Starlast like in Maxroll for the PvP portion of stuff to talk about build guides, that's big, right? Because we respect Starlast as a player, or at least I do. And so I mean,
the only thing I don't like about these websites though is the embed. Like I do not like that they're embedded websites. I think it's super bad, especially for people that are trying to grow their stream, like smaller time content creators. It's terrible.
I think there's a lot of oversaturation of Maxroll right now. We were talking about it before we actually started the podcast. Like it's so new and they're getting pinned and plugged everywhere. And it's like some people are like, hey, well, I want to be able to post my information on that website. Like I was able to do it on Lost Ark.
It's not that though. It's the embedding of the website. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
No. I'm not sure
so
what you mean then. Sorry.
These websites are, by the way, I'm not shitting on this website.
No,
I think it's fantastic what they're doing. But that's the same thing that happened with New World as well. These websites are embedded, which means that they put streamers on there, and anytime somebody's on the website, they'll put the stream
I get, like the
off to the left. The
Fextra
Life thing embedded, right? So it's legal view botting. So somebody, you know, somebody could, you know, be, you know, maybe like fucking, I don't know, 80, 90 concurrent viewership, right? But then they get put on this website and then they go to 600, 700. Now their chat's not like a 600, 700 chat, and it's very obvious, but it moves everybody else beneath them lower. Right, so then it's a battle about getting on these embedded website, which I don't know. It's Twitch's fault. I don't know how they fucking allow these things. It seems so ridiculous that they're.
I was getting hit with that on the Korean website. I would go to like the website to like pull up information on the KR Lost Ark, and I would see my stream, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, what is this? And it's like, oh, these are where my weird numbers are coming from. Because I'd have like days where I'm like, I am definitely not sitting at 100 viewers. What's going on? And it's. Of course, there's just high traffic. Yeah, it's high traffic on the website. And when that finally went away, I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck happened to my views, dog?" And it made sense, obviously.
This is a topic that, like Stoopz, I'd obviously love to have you on the show. We've talked about it a million times, but I would love to like talk about this in depth because I think it's like a major issue for Twitch as well.
Well, it's the same thing as it's the same thing as what you were mentioning earlier. Like, I think it is stupid to give these bigger streamers drops, but that's the deal, right? Like, they go to them, say, hey, we'll pay you to play our game and we'll give you drops because they want them to advertise their game. But it is true, right? Like, you're just fucking everybody else by giving these bigger streamer drops and not the little ones, because now the little ones are already like getting washed out by the fact that they are the little ones and now they don't have drops. But what I will say about it again, the last thing I guess I just feel like taking up all this time, but the last thing that I did want to say was eventually these people do leave, right? Because their contract does end, and there's going to be people that do stay in the community that still enjoy the game, right? These people aren't paid to play the game anymore. They're going to go off and play the next big game or whatever else they're getting paid to do or whatever else is like, good for their stream. And those people will stay. And that's always what I've noticed for launches. Like when I played WoW, I would get less viewers on the launch of an expansion. And then a month later, I would get more viewers than I had going into the expansion. So just know that as well. Like these people will leave and there will be a lingering like after effect of potential viewers and things like that do want to stay around in Lost Ark because they enjoy the game, they've invested time, and they're going to look for people. And that's where a lot of people will be that do have the knowledge as well. So drop system is fucked up, though, I would agree. And I think it's bad for Twitch, just like I think embeds are bad for Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like it.
I heard it
Thank you,
hurts
Stoopz.
the community as a whole, for sure.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah, dude. It's already hard enough to be seen on Twitch.
Right. I mean, no offense to Fextra Life because he's doing the grind, but it's like that shady way to do the grind, I guess you could say. Because we're all
This
here
is fucking the guy's view botting with 80,000 viewers. He's view botting, it was crazy.
It's what's wild about it is he created the website that enabled this situation to happen. And now we all look at it and it's like, is that cool? Or like did he just cheat the system and we all got fucked for it? Like that's kind of the idea behind it.
Puts himself on a website that everyone's using for like a wiki website.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I couldn't even find him on it. Dude, there was this other guy, man. Fuck it. I'll say he dressed up like a pirate. And I was talking to my friend in Discord. I'm like, dude, there's this guy like camping 24 hours before New World launch. And he was dressed up like a pirate. And I'm like, this guy's, he's going to fall asleep, whatever. And then I wake up the next morning, he's at 33,000 viewers. And he had 50 viewers before that. And I was like, what the fuck? Like this guy, did it work or something? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Days go on and he's still 33,000 viewers. And I'm so confused. I'm like, wow, like that. I guess I should just dress up as like a maid on launch, right? Or I should really a Mokoko, like that. That's what I'm thinking in my head as a joke.
No,
but it ends up being he was embedded on the website, and he was just sitting every time he streamed 30,000 viewers. Right now, did it help him in the long run? I don't know where that guy's at today, but yeah, he just went from being 50 viewers to 30,000. I mean, it's just like, dude, it's just how is that like? How is that even allowed?
It sucks seeing that number, and then it's like 3 people in your chat talking.
Oh, you can obviously tell, right?
Yeah, but I mean, if you're the person on the receiving end and you see this view botting and you're at like 2,000 people and you're 12 people or whoever are talking in chat and you're somehow getting like a follow more than you would an hour, isn't it working? Right?
I mean, it's doing something, but I don't think it does as much. Well, for Factual Life, it probably does, but I would say for like that 50, because the guy really doesn't have a community yet either, right? So like people are coming in, no one's saying shit, and they might leave, and that was the case with that guy. But what I done so in the case of Factual Life, it definitely helps. In the case of that guy, what I think all it does is it doesn't really help him that much because he's not really building anything, and it just fucks over all of the smaller people, that are trying to grow. So anyway, this is like turning into like a creator thing.
Yeah.
And,
This is a long one as it is. Like,
I'll let you guys go. Sorry, that's it. I'm not coming back in.
No worries. All right.
I'm not coming back in.
What you got on the fight? Hold on. Who do you have on the fight?
I don't know for this main event. I have no idea, dude.
Ganu, man.
I want him to win, but there's like this drama with his contract. I don't know. So I want him to win, though. We'll see. So yeah. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your show. Sorry. Take it easy. Bye, everyone in the chat.
Bye.
Goodbye. Laufie's camera's off. I'll see you guys later.
She'll be back.
Bye.
She'll be back.
All right. Bye-bye.
Well, I don't know what other topics you guys want to do. Maybe you can open up questions in
that's
chat
normally
or...
what we do is open up to questions in chat. Gamma had a question earlier. Let me see if I still have it.
All right, hold on. I got a question for you, Flip. While you find that question,
yes, sir.
DJ, I have a question for you. For the rivalries, this last rivalry event. So now that it's been outed that DJ paid to beat KANON,
I did not.
Will we
what are you
be
talking about, dude?
Will we see any rematches to the rivalry at all? I know that there was a little bit of drama with the Blinks and Hesitant match. Are we gonna see like any like a round 2, a run it back one more time? Because I would like to see a couple of those matches come back.
Isn't that the whole point of this, right?
Well, yes, but we also want to make sure we get new people in, right?
Okay.
Because I've got like a long list of people that I've wanted in Arc Rivalry 1, but we only had so much time in the stream.
Yeah.
So, and we don't have all of the classes. I want to make sure Arc Rivalry is on the actual release client now.
Mhm.
So once we have more classes come in as well, would love to see good representation of those classes. Like for example, if Destroyer comes out, I would love to see Wogsy come in and have an Arc Rivalry duel with somebody. But yeah,
Okay.
the answer is would love to see rematches, but would also love to highlight some new people in.
Gotcha. Perfect.
So
Yeah, that was it. That was
we'll,
all I had.
we'll start off with Gamma's question. If the game actually gets big enough, do you think the game could handle having an esports scene? And we'll
So
flip. Go ahead.
here are my thoughts on it. I'm not sure if it's going to be the actual case, but it's not so much how big it is or how many players you have, it's how strong your community is. Because ultimately, what a strong community will do is serve as a good audience for an esports scene. And what an esports scene needs are players and an audience. The tournament organization thing, that's translatable no matter what the game is. And so, what we would like to see is can we strengthen the community first? If you do, I guarantee you it can take a big esports scene. So,
Okay.
that's my thoughts on it.
I love it. And then me Pete said, Flip, will there be a pickup team section in the Discord? Like I might not be able to be accepted into any teams, and having a section in Discord before the weekly or bi-weekly skirmishes, and having a section for trying to find teams would be great. Now, Pete definitely is going to get picked up for a team, but for other people that aren't, are you going to start making a section?
Yeah, that's something we have to go back as a team and really try and understand what these first few tournaments are looking like. But absolutely, if we can help you, we're here to help people. If we can help you find a team, even if it's for just one tournament, doesn't necessarily have to be your team throughout the whole league. Then yeah, if it's in our power to do so, would love to hear your suggestions, and we'll make it happen. We'll do our best.
Okay. Then Caster said, we didn't touch on it enough. I think we missed part of it, but Caster, the monthly tournaments will be both for EU and NA.
Yes.
So, the format, real quick, from what I understand, and I don't know. Actually, do you just want to clarify the exact format you guys are looking for in the next year?
Yeah, so obviously things are not set in stone, but here's what we're thinking, at least the first few months, or at least this year of 2022, is that in a given month, we'll have these weekly skirmishes that are not necessarily going to be streamed, just so that you can come in, get familiarized with the tournament software, so that tournament day, you'll understand how to sign up your team, etc. But also give you specific to your region, like we'll have one night, Tuesdays, NA West, 7 p.m. We'll have a bracket open up in Smash.gg, and you can join the tournament and play some skirmishes. And then 2 weeks out of the weekend, one for NA, one for EU. That's when we're going to do the qualifier weekends. And those are the ones that we're going to have casted. That's where you'll see Laufie, Lin, Nico, Grenton, etc. And then hopefully, if schedule allows, the skirmishes just before those qualifier weekends we'll have casted as well, just to build up the hype. So for example, if we do a skirmish on Tuesday for NA West, and then the qualifier weekend is on Saturday, we'll cast those, and that way we can have a narrative running. And then I would also love to see Laufie participate in our tournaments.
We all want that.
Same. I was actually kind of mad that she didn't get a rivalry match. Like high key, I wanted to see her step away from the booth and throw some fucking hands. Like we were talking about it in Discord. Like, all right, Laufie can shoutcast this, but I need her to throw some hands right now. Like,
Laufie on Sork,
please.
Right.
I like to do 3 tournaments, but I really am not a fan of 1v1.
Just start handing out naps. What are you talking about? This is easy claps.
She's dodging, DJ. She's dodging.
Damn
She don't
it.
want that smoke, dog.
Yeah, and then okay, so for these qualifier weekends, those are free entry. Ride with whatever team you have, join it. We'll try and do crowdfunding to help support the prize pool of that. And once we actually have subscriptions available in the archives channel, we'll make it so that a portion of those profits from the subscription go into crowdfunding immediately back into the community. And then, and yes, Caster, it will be 3v3. And what those tournaments will do, if you win those qualifier weekends, this is part of making it into, really start sifting through the skill level of people. Once you win those qualifier weekends, maybe let's say after 3 months, there will be an invitational, and that's invite only. It will be the top X of these qualifier weekends for each region, NA East, NA West, EU, and we're hoping to get South America into the fold as soon as we can, guys. But we'll have an invitational for those qualifier quarterly invitationals. And that's when we're really going to bring up the sponsors, up the prize pools. And then, as ambitious as it is, we're going to do regional championships. Winners of the invitationals that happen 2 to 3 times a year will duke it out for the region in a regional championships. And if possible, if funds willing and COVID willing, see if we can get a LAN tournament out there. Make one of these bigger tournaments in a facility somewhere here in California, somewhere in the East Coast, somewhere in EU. Because if you've ever done a tournament, that's half the fun. Showing up and seeing the people physically and just shaking hands with them and then talking shit. And then duking it out in the arena. So to us, that's something we really, really want to do. And so we're always looking at so one, we have a couple of locations we would love to do these on. And it's just a matter of if the logistics are right and if the community wants to do it. And we think it'll be pretty dope. So
Yeah.
let's do some cool shit, guys. Come
Let's
on.
do some dope shit. Okay, so Caster, that was that one. Let's see. Gamma had another question. Or sorry, Mapete had another question. Have you guys thought about a cap on teams? Like team size?
Yeah, so that's something. So what we're going to do is, I also saw a question about if there's a website or not. Is closer to the release, we're going to put out our website where all of this information will be readily available. Obviously, there's the Discord if you want to talk to us more immediately.
Can someone post a link to the Discord if anybody has it? I'm trying to feed these questions right now.
Oh, I don't have it ready.
Oh,
That's
no.
on me.
Laufie probably has it.
Yeah.
What we want to do is we'll have a website, we'll have this information, and we'll at least try and send out the first 3 to 4 months of tournament dates so that people can plan around it and really figure out. To us, that's going to be our wild, wild west. We want to see what kind of participation is going to happen in these tournaments. We'll see if there's going to be a need for a cap. But the thing is, these regional championships, the really prestigious tournaments, we're going to at least start with that being capped at 8. And so it would be just the 8 best teams of your region going at it, because that one's the prestige is the big factor there. But for the quarterly invitationals and the qualifier weekends, we don't know yet. But we're gonna try and get as many people as possible.
To piggyback on that, are you looking at doing potentially for these bigger events, like a 2-day tournament so that there's a rest period? You come from fighting games, I come from fighting games. There ain't no resting until top 8. So like I understand that, but people coming from other games, it's like I played 3 games today, I'm drained, and they're not playing at their best. So that's the question I have.
Yeah, especially for the bigger tournaments, and we don't want to exhaust like Laufie commentating, like, hey,
absolutely,
12 hours on Saturday, please, and then So we do like one feedback we got is to have more breaks as well, and we agree. Like during the Arc Rivalry tournament, we were all in my apartment, me and the TO team. There were 4 of us. We had all of this food prepared, and none of us ate because we were just
Oh
doing
man,
this
that makes me
tournament.
sad.
I mean, we were having fun. We were having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I saw a question about limiting whether or not people can join multiple regions, and it was still kind of split on this because the fact of the matter is it's hard to enforce. It's very easy for somebody to be anonymous and play in multiple regions, but right now we are kind of hoping to discourage it. We prefer you pick a region for a given qualifier season. If you want to try your first 3 months at one region and then you want to switch to another one, maybe we'll be okay with that. But right now, the scenario we want to avoid is somebody just no-lifing all of these regions or 2 regions, and it just becomes the same people we see over and over again in top 4. So to us, we can go either way, but right now we'd prefer if, just pick a region, represent it well, and, a year from now, we're going to improve on the season. We're going to incorporate all of the changes, and it doesn't have to be static.
Cool. And let's see. Sokra, there is a YouTube about this. Can we here, this is the question. I'll link it to you as well, Flip, so you can see it. It would be easier for friends if you're tagging me and Flip in these questions, so that we could see them as they come in. That's something I'll preface that later. Saif, you got to reword that question. Sorry, but I'm not sure what that one was. Let's see. Okay, Gamma, let me get into that. Class discouragement. So Gamma had a question for all of us about class discouragement. Certain classes are being pushed out as useless in PvE and PvP due to certain meta ideals. What is a way that everyone on the table could think to help combat that? I mean, I'll start off. Personally, it's about effectiveness. Like, we want to win, right? You want to play the most effective comp to do so. And it's hard when you have something that like a Hawkeye doesn't bring a whole lot to the table in terms of a organized composition. That is more of a solo queue class in general. It's a selfish class. So my personal opinion on is, unless they change the classes or somebody figures out a comp, that really isn't going to change the meta, right? But that's the whole beauty of it. If somebody's really diehard, you got an Inspire the Wolf type of character and in a team that's like, I'm playing this class and I'm gonna make it work, and they start doing scrims and they start showing that this class can work in an organized fashion, then yeah, absolutely. They can somebody like that could change the meta. Laufie, you want to speak on that?
Sure. I think it's not up to Flip really to make sure that this is balanced. It's up to Smilegate, because they're the ones rolling out balance patches.
Mm-hmm.
Flip, if anything, he's facilitating the eyes on it. Obviously, if Smilegate actually takes it seriously and they don't just watch their own competitions, if they do pay attention and they see, for example, that one of our leagues, for 2022, for example, had like a certain amount of blades, and like almost like every other team, or like 2/3 of the teams had a blade in them. Obviously, that's something that Smilegate needs to pay attention to and make decisions accordingly. I don't think it's on Flip to kind of make those changes, because he doesn't have the tools to do it. But he, by bringing these tournaments together, he puts a spotlight onto these imbalances and showing that. At the same time, from the player's perspective, I do agree with DJ. Like, it is about effectiveness, and also there isn't a single class in Lost Ark that it's completely unplayable. So, for example, if I were to participate in a tournament, I'd probably want like a berserker, like a good berserker and a good blade on my team. But if, let's say, I was looking for a team, and I said, hey, I want to go to the tournament, and I was looking for a team, and Yerger approached me and he said, hey, let me come on Striker, I'd be like, yeah, fuck it, let's fucking roll it. You're amazing on Striker. Even though Striker, I don't care what the Korean patch is right now, they're in their own world.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, as it is, Striker isn't like a very strong class at all.
Agreed.
I'd be like, yeah, let's just do it because Yurger is insane on it. So it's like it's really about the player more so than it is about the class.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And you know, you best bet we're gonna give all of our tournament data and showcase that to the public and show, you know, what the meta game will be like for all of these regions. And my theory is with all of the influx of new players coming into this game is that the meta game is going to be very, very different. And it's going to be a huge shakeup. Not just because a lot of these classes are not going to be available yet, but we're just going to see the preferences of what a Western audience is like in PvP. And if you are, you know, part of the, you know, like fighting game scene, is when you get new players, you get the theory crafters show up and they come up with some wild shit. And so, you know, we've been playing RU and KR for a while, and you know, a meta in itself, you know, formed there. But what happens when you bring it to these shores and you get these absolute killers that theory craft some weird ass build, but end up doing really well with it and have tournament data to showcase for it. So we'll see. I honestly, it's going to be huge shakeup.
Prime example of that being Melee, like a game that is solved 20 years over. Pikachu going from one of the worst characters in the game to literal S tier on the level of a Fox and a Falco recently, just because one player literally grinded his life away at Pikachu. So that's a good example of like, yeah, somebody can absolutely make it work. It's just a matter of how. And the innovators coming in is a massive part of that. And it's not really up to us. It's up to the innovators. And there's going to be tons of them.
Actually, I do have a question for you guys. Sorry, Rufio, if you had an answer.
No, go ahead. You're fine.
For the league, we've been looking at the rule set that we're going to try and go with. Where it's likely going to be very similar to the beta tournament, but I just wanted to do a sanity check with you guys in terms of class stacking. That should be banned. And how about double supports, including Warlord? What do you think we should do about that?
No double support.
Yeah,
and doesn't make for a very exciting match.
We also have to
either from a viewer or a fighting standpoint.
We have to define what a support is. Like, I mean, obviously there's the basic 2 or 3, so to speak, Warlord, Paladin, and Bard. But with a 40% damage reduction on something like a Soul Master or Soul Fist, do they also get put into that category? Also does, because like with Battle Master coming into the S tier in Korea, that changes depending on what meta we end up getting. Does Battle Master stacking with a true support leave other melees in the dust and ruin the experience because they do have a damage reduction on one of their skills, right? So as like Blade has a buff and is a melee similar to Battle Master, what, like, you have to define what a support truly is and what classes are true supports. Because I would assume Battle Master ends up getting like kind of canned if it ends up being a support, but if it doesn't, then it becomes one of the meta teams, right?
Yeah,
so it's a very hard and fine line to draw, right?
It's difficult to enforce at the skill level. Like, do we allow inner key from Soul Master? That's very difficult to do, and it just opens a can of worms for people, you know, bypassing the system and saying, "Oh, I wasn't running it." So to us, we're trying to keep it at the class level right now. Bards and paladins and warlords are what we're choosing, or gun lancers, I guess, are what we're choosing as quote unquote supports. And you know, teams that have any combination of those together, we're just banning them. So that's what we did for the beta tournament. We're hoping that maybe at least the first time we do this, first few months of the archives tournament, is that, you know, it keeps the metagame healthy. So we'll see.
And that's important. You never want to make it a boring spectator sport. Losing eyes is never a good look. Rufio, did you want to touch on this?
I
Bronze God?
am a bronze god. Okay, listen. Ban all the classes except for Blade.
Sick.
No, I'm just kidding.
Sounds like a really
In all,
fun
it
tournament.
just I like the way you guys approached the previous tournament where you couldn't have like two bards, right? Like you weren't allowing like a full stack of of one. But I mean, I'm too new to the scene to really like touch down on and be like to really give a firm answer on it. I'll get back to you once I get a little bit more acclimated to the PvP environment. But as of right now, I'm still just learning. I know that there's team comps I absolutely like just dread going against, but I suffer because it's at the end of the day, it's still a learning experience nonetheless. But I feel like I'm definitely like way too new. Like I haven't, like I said, I set a goal for myself just to climb to gold, and like so with that, I'm learning along the way, and just taking in what the PvP community is giving me right now, and what to look out for and what to manage. So I don't have much to say about it at all. So I'll take what Laufie and DJ and like people like Hesitant and Blinks and those guys' opinions. I'll take what they have from a competitive standpoint.
All right.
But for me right now, I don't want to say anything.
So, we've been doing this a while, so we'll wrap up with the last question, right? Do teams get to change comp between games, or is a whole series locked on the same comp?
Gotcha. That's a really good question. The way we're thinking about doing it is it gets locked for the tournament, that particular tournament, the day of. So, for example, I go into a weekly skirmish. I am playing a certain team comp. I win that weekly skirmish, and I'm ready to go to the weekend qualifier. Because that's a different tournament, I have the option of changing my comp.
Mm.
And even if, let's say, I win a qualifier weekend and I get invited to the invitational, I can come into that invitational with a different team comp. We don't want to be too restrictive. And then even if I win the invitational and I'm going to the regional championships, I can shake things up. And with those 8 people coming in, 8 teams going into the regional championships, who knows what you're going to play against? You just know the players. But
Yeah.
that's how we're at least going to do the first season.
Okay. So I would like to touch on this just because in my head, for like the particulars of a tournament in general, like team comps can be counter comp. Now, you don't want to
Right.
lose in draft, right? Nobody wants to see a wash in like it's just a mismatch, and these guys don't go to the finals because they're forced to play their blaster comp that literally they played it just to counter this region, right? And then they go to like a bigger event and they're able to change, but the new comp they played is just getting washed and they have no strategical way to change. I would like to see between matches like, hey, you're available to change comp because it is a new match. Make sure you're able to log in and get on your other character quickly, but still follow the format, like no double support. If you're gonna have somebody else change to a support, you better have another DPS ready, like, and you could switch in that manner. I would like to see that personally. That's just me because like coming from fighting games, playing MVC3, you lose a match, you're like, damn, I need to take Storm out of my comp right now. So let's fix that. So
no, that's a good point. And what we did in the beta tournament is each player can come into with up to 2 classes.
Yes,
and as long as they follow the comp rules and the bannings, then they're good to go.
Agreed.
So we'll see. We'll give it a try. We'll give it a good old college try.
Huh?
I said, how did you feel about that? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of more on the side of the idea of letting people swap out if they can. I mean, with Lost Ark Arena being as alt-friendly as it is, I think it's a good idea. I think a lot of people kind of flex a lot of other classes. There's a lot of multi-classes in our community already. Obviously, like, they do have a main, they do have a pocket pick and everything, but in this types of games, comps really do dictate so much, especially when you get to a higher tier. That's why usually when people ask me, is Bard really S tier, I say it really depends on what rating you're in, because if you're in Master, Grandmaster, even Diamond, having Bard on your team can completely just win you the game just off of that. But if you're in Bronze and people aren't playing a certain way, then having a Bard on your team is almost like sometimes a bad thing, because you're just not getting enough damage out. So I do think that having like giving people some option, some flexibility to switch classes is good, just because you can like if it's two very strong teams playing against each other, if one of the comps is better, it's just a blowout.
Rufio?
I have a question
Mhm.
about team comp because I'm like I said, I'm very new to this
Mhm.
whole ranked PvP thing. Is there at your level, Laufie, what you've experienced in terms of ranking? Same for you, DJ. I don't want to discredit your
Me
grind.
as a trash can? Yeah, I get it.
Uh,
I love
is
this game.
there like a beat it all team comp? Like is that a thing?
Not
Like you know,
really.
No.
like these three classes together will literally just like they could skyrocket to Grandmaster with zero issue if they all play together consistently.
I think the closest thing is like Berserker, Bard, Scouter for that. But even still, like,
Something like that. Like I mean, there are a lot of comps that are very good and that are they're gonna beat most. Like there are comps that would have like a very very positive win rate,
Mm.
but there
Mhm.
not like one team comp that's like you're
Absolutely.
absolutely yeah. Like
Yeah,
because
yeah.
there's always a class like there's certain, and that's where like those like quote unquote B tier classes come in, and that's kind of another reason why I don't really like tier lists, is because
Gotcha.
like in certain situations, like a Hawkeye would actually be really good against certain teams that
Mhm.
are
Mhm.
considered strong, like things
Mm.
like that. Like it's like a what's it called, like I guess ace up your sleeve, or a dark horse or whatever it's called. Like it's in super rare situations if someone's able to pull out like a Soul Master or Hawkeye against a certain comp that's very strong, that they actually might be able to um, kind of win the game over through, like if we're just looking at comps, then yeah.
Mm.
So there isn't one ultimate comp for sure. There are a lot of strong ones, like anyone that has Blade plus Bard, Berserker plus Bard, Scouter Bard, like I mean, or Paladin, like
Yeah.
replace
But
Bard with Paladin.
there's like a variety there is what you're saying
Mhm.
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
and
Okay, cool.
There's
which
no
is why I've
goats.
always exactly,
Okay.
like that's why I'm always saying like there's not a single class that's unplayable, because there is a use for every class, and it's just really
Gotcha.
it really does depend on
S-
like the
So
counters.
you've definitely felt, would you say that you've definitely felt when you ran threes with everybody, you you've definitely felt like you've at one point you were rolling purely based on skill, right? Because you were just like you're just getting put against players I didn't really know. But you wouldn't say like we have the best comp. Like there's definitely going to be a comp that comes in, or there's going to be players that come in that are definitely going to cause a problem for us based on like what we currently have built out now.
Yeah, I mean, like there have been times where I felt comp carried, and usually like back when I peak, like in my peak rating, it was usually when I had a destroyer on my team.
Mm.
Um, like anything with a destroyer and Bard is just so like unbreakable and unkillable that it doesn't even matter who your third is. But with Bard, it's a little bit weird because like for example, I have two Bards. I have my main that I play on in Russia, and then I have an alt that I play on. So that my main is I play only in prime time in Russia when good people are queuing, so that I get good queues.
Mhm.
And that's the Bard that I've peaked on 2400 and like gotten masters every season. I mean, not this one because I just don't bother queuing anymore because Lost Ark's coming out so soon.
Mhm.
My other alt is the one I usually stream on because it's in the evening. So it's in the times where Russia is dead and we're only getting like Americans or like super drunk Russians who are queuing for some reason at 7 a.m. or whatever. So
Mhm.
the queues are very unbalanced, and that Bard is in bronze. And it's like
Gotcha.
I'm not like running troll builds. I'm not like not trying. Like obviously I'm not as focused as I would be on my main, of course,
Mhm.
but like it really shows you how like Bard isn't one of the, like there are a lot of people who got to like Diamond and even Master who would queue in off times, and they would just boost themselves off of bronze players because the game would just match them against them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because if it's somebody like a Lance Master or a Gunslinger, they can do that. Like a Blade can do that. But a
Mhm.
Bard relies too much on her team, so comp for Bard is super important, and like the teammates being able to play the game well is super important as well. So it's super hard to climb out on Bard, but once you do get to a certain rating where people start playing like human beings, it gets really broken.
Okay. Yeah, that was something that I was like fearing when I first started doing like my first 10 ranked matches was like, is this something I need to worry about where like if I enter the arena, like I know I'm destined to lose because this team comp is just absolutely like gonna roll.
No,
So
that
I
only
really do appreciate that information.
yeah, it's really kind of it's very similar to League of Legends where it's like a lot of times people are like, "Oh, this character is broken," but it's like it's getting picked in pro play, man. Like you in your Iron game, that's not gonna matter because you're
Yeah.
not playing that character to its full potential and you're not like maximizing as to why it's broken. So it's the same thing in Lost Ark where it doesn't matter kind of what class you play if it's outside of support. Comps only start mattering, I would say, around plat and higher.
Got you. Got
Mhm.
you. Okay. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Yeah, sorry. I don't I can ask the PvP questions, but I cannot give you a PvP answer because I'm so new and I'm learning. So this is like very informative for me too. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Friends, thank you all for being here. That was a
3.5
long one.
hours. My
That
God.
was.
You guys, thank you so much for sticking it out with us. And obviously, this is our longest episode yet. I don't want to make them all this long because I know you guys have lives. I know Rufio's tilted that he's not watching the fight.
I'm watching it right now.
Oh, okay,
I'm watching
perfect.
it right
Good.
now.
At least
and
you know, you still
I'm
have your life.
literally
Flip
streaming.
keeps looking to the right. I see it. I see
Yeah,
it.
I was watching. Sorry.
Guys.
Francis is yucking him around right now.
Friends,
I don't wanna.
I really, really, really appreciate you all being here. I appreciate the follows. I appreciate the gifted subs. I appreciate the raids. We love you guys so very much. The whole reason we put the podcast together is for you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being on my podcast and our podcast. Flip, you were a wonderful guest. We would love to have you again
Thank
soon.
you. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Big shout out to my team, Sage Esports. Big shout out to our casters, Laufie, Nico, Lynn, Grenton. Especially Laufie, you were the OG. Thank you. And Rufio, what a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you, Flip. Have more of a social media presence. Tweet sometimes, please.
No,
For the love of
try.
God.
Yeah.
Just tweet. I expect when Lost Ark drops, I expect 50 tweets in the first night about how much you love the story and hate the story and what characters you love and don't like. And it's been an absolute pleasure, Flip. The E mystery of you will remain, but I am very happy that you came in and really opened up the doors to Sage and archives. So thank you so much for being on the show. Absolutely. Thank you.
Also, just so you guys are very well aware, Rufio and Laufie are permanent stays in the Mokoko Cast. They're not on every episode. I just wanted to clarify that. I didn't really talk about it last week, but they're like some of the most knowledgeable people and some of the most fun people to have on the podcast. And thank you guys so much again for joining us. You guys are wonderful. Wait,
Thank you, DJ.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
Who do we got? Let's raid someone. Dad Rage live right now?
Laufie, are you gonna go live?
Nope.
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 I mean, 3.5 hours later, take it easy, chill a little
Yeah,
bit.
no.
Let's Saints live already? What's he doing?
There you go.
Let's throw it Saints way, friends. I appreciate you all.
Hell yeah,
Um,
same.
Let's go talk to the king himself and tell him we're talking a bunch of gaggle of shit on the internet about him. I'm just kidding. All right, friends. We will see you in a few days at least.